if they line up. I mean, he can get two, and then you have this lurk off from Kerbeni, who will eventually wrap its way around back towards B main. But if he can get a good timing here and get these two remaining CT players, Demon and X-Cloud, to maybe line up, you'll
É,
have
esse
some
mapa aqui
results.
é da...
Oh, Kerbeni misses the timing. 35 seconds left on the clock. Is he really going to take this gamble in the long rotate over towards A? If I'm him, I'm dropping E-Box and maybe want a nice little reposition. But he himself down to only 2 HP. Doesn't really have too much left on the table or in the tank for him. It's whoever hits the first shot here wins. And Mosvold comes out on top. Now down to 15, a 1v1. He takes it patiently, timing. He just has to do it, land the shot, but the USP comes out on top. And FUT just barely inched that one out.
X-Cloud always good for a clutch. What could have been a disaster because of the low HP turns into another round game for the likes of the
Vamos ver.
CTs. Dismantled the push into B main early on. You can see how much each round means to these players.
AW a hero AK right now, down to $250, while the rest of the squad, Tech 9s and Glocks, are kind of the move for them. A bit of a slow mid control coming out. AW appearing directly down mid, but he's going to be met with the firm and precise op of symmetry thus far. He rotates off. He might get a good timing here where they can kind of break that nice little A-hold, but the good lost position here in mid is most likely going to spell doom for this team side.
Alckzinho meio...
They swing into Kerbeni.
Pior que o Kraben tá bem. Acho que ele vai matar e vai recuar. A gente tem um up com ele ainda.
Everyone grouped up. Kerbeni wants to aggress.
Hum.
One easy kill, expects more, so starts to fall back. And the up shot's not able to hit.
Certo um tiro, mano.
That's enough for Kerbeni to finish off AW. He's stuck in the middle of no man's land. And now it's only Mosvold on an island all by himself. Maybe a chance to get a kill. But at the end of the day, FUT doing very good to make sure that the rounds that they have advantages in aren't being dropped off.
Solid scoreline already from this FUT squad. Now 5-3. So they're going to be rolling this one. It's going to be a little bit of a tough buy for this Magic squad. AW down to a Glill. Moon, he's got the weapon of choice, and AK scattered amongst the rest. But it is slowly looking a little bit more dire for this Magic squad.
Fúria.
Tenzi, a beautiful lineup, but only enough to spray down one. He is traded out. Great damage onto Kerbeni, however. Space in mid, given up. X-Cloud finds a gap right in it. Gonna flash in. No aggression yet. Fade 8 making noise. It's about approaching, not ready for X-Cloud in the corner. The Molotov not quite strong enough to clear him out. And Moon, a shot that needed to be landed to even up the numbers. Barely misses. So Magic forced. A bit telegraphed as well to the A-bomb site. Still got time to work with. We got two players here. We also have a Jokes that's feeling very alive compared to the last map. Sprays down one, Mosvold down to only 7. Symmetry, all he really has to do is buy time. All he has to do is wait for the rotations in. Molotov. Backside is sight, not gonna stop anything. Well, it's weird now, Mosvold still efficient in the round. Lines up for a headshot. Another one found, Kerbeni. He flanked the up. Two T's to swing and not even a shot fired.
E aí, Dom? Tudo certo.
On 7 HP alone. 4 in the round, but 3 with just 7 HP. And that is what you need out of that man. A nice little resurgence back into this round and back into this first half. Map 2. Now only down a single round. FUT. The finances haven't dwindled yet. The money's still there. The buy's still there. But is this momentum maybe slowly starting to shift towards this T side back again? It's all being traded. Xcloud taking a nice little look down canals, but that deep smoke kind of blocks some vision. Maybe audibly heard as well.
Xcloud tries to fall back. Not going to be given the grace to do so. His two T's lined up towards him. Gonna push in. Oh my man, Jugs waiting for Masvidal to swing. That's a kill for himself. But Demon at timing, only good for one. Moon got contested from behind as well. Not able to readjust.
Bom time esse da Magic, mano, é um bom time. Eles jogam um CS corretinho, velho.
Still able to net himself one, and that's even numbers. That's a 2-on-2.
Mas eles ganharam o melhor mapa deles, né? Que é Ancient. Ancient deles é boa.
Symmetry sticking around with this Hawk. Going a long rotate, potentially back over towards A. Grouping up with his last remaining teammate. Might be a good call, just play for the retake. They have no kits on their bodies currently. Could be ones dropped in towards that D-box area, but the utility's there. But the bomb has decided B will be exactly where they were at, and that is where they will hold their final stand, at least in this round. 20 seconds left as they slowly, quietly work their way over towards site.
The bright side for FUT is that you already know what's going on. For Benny Close, pushes forward without his teammate. Long rotation.
Mas igual, tipo, a Ancient deles é muito boa. Eu acho que agora a Noobs é FUT, né? Vai dar FUT e provavelmente o terceiro mapa é FUT também.
But it's just Tenzi, stuck at default. AK in his hand. Both CTs rotating in from the same spot. How much patience does he have? Molotov misses, he swings it! And finds both of them! What a play from Tenzi, continuing to perform whenever he is needed.
That missed Molly spelled doom instantly. The confidence while they were looking off to that left. Perfect timing on that swing from Tenzi. Lines them up, puts them down, and E-Box will be the mass grave area here for the CT side as it is now full swing. We're tied back again, 5-5.
Beleza, agora tá certo, velho.
What you expect out of these squads?
Ai, graças a Deus.
Favor given.
Once again,
Tá trabalhando não, Dom?
and that's what makes it so tantalizing. The potential for so much action at any time. Demon only nets one. Xcloud gets it next. Doubles up, finds a third. Exciting for Benny, actually. Takes that kill, but nonetheless.
E aí, Júlio?
Moon
Fala comigo.
is up in play. With the bomb in the hands of FUT.
Você achou a fita?
Flank that slowly but surely coming in. Symmetry holding the line, no way. Moon should be able to egress out of those doors. Nosy stuff.
Veio jogar um pug? Tá no almoço? Que pug aqui? Aqui eu tô trabalhando. Só que eu tô com... Como eu tenho 2 monitores, dá pra fazer live da... Eu ganhei acesso pra fazer live da transição também.
Got a chance to save, but you still got 50 seconds left.
Aí dá pra fazer. Aí eu tô trabalhando no primeiro monitor e o segundo monitor tá passando o jogo aqui. Você viu, velho?
4-0 round for the penultimate.
Tá até comemorando aqui que eu tô fazendo dá certo. Deu certo.
Moon reacts quick enough. Not quite. That's an easy kill for Jugs.
Pô, eu queria estar comentando mais do jogo, tá ligado?
At minimum, the tied half. That's exactly what you want on that CT side.
É, velho. Dom, você tinha que estar nesse mundo aqui, ó. Descobrir esse mundo aqui é bom, velho.
From the FUT squad, wow. We're seeing different shades of magic here, different versions of success. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And that round was
Sempre amo assistir os jogos.
huge off towards that E-Box side, spraying down.
Falar pra você
Finding himself
que eu acho que é legal transmitir, mas tipo, igual o Gaules faz, tá ligado? Com alguém ali, conversando e tudo mais.
Jugs from
Sozinho é meio paia, velho.
teammate. Benny
Falando assunto aleatório da vida.
Looking at a 3-on-3. You're looking at AW going in with the rifle on very low HP and Tenzi pushing forward with the Tech-9. Picks up an AK close range. Jugs just a bit
Falando, e aí, como que foi o dia no Bardon? Como que você trabalhou, velho? Você tá trabalhando agora na área comercial?
difficult to find space anywhere. That's from the cemetery. Oh my goodness, what a shot to end it out too. 7-5 the half in favor of FUT.
Reis mandou mensagem.
A
Vai
far
ter
better first half than
camp.
we saw
Não
in
sei
half
que
number
horas.
1. Finally a Jugs that's awake too.
Ô,
This seems to
louco.
be
Então
the
você tá no
difference
TI, pô.
now. Not just having to rely on Demon, who I think originally
Você
dropped
tá
from AWC
patrão,
at
velho.
8 and 16. So, you know, he's finally getting the support he deserves and needs, much needed, before, the second half kicks off. And normally, we mentioned earlier how, the first half for Magic is normally their best side. Tends to really just be wholly in their favor, but now they find themselves in an awkward position of being down a pair of rounds, and it's really going to come down to the pistols for this
O
squad.
cara entrou no TI, velho. TI da cervejaria. Deve tá ganhando uma fortuna, velho.
With it. Maybe Magic wanting the split to fall towards the other side, considering the half that they started on, but no difference. Team still very alive. Smoke set up by Deep. He tossed on over. Straight to the staircase. Pushing in. Can't even find the shot.
Olha a mensagem do Sank no grupo, velho.
Straight 8 drops a smoke.
Beleza. Valeu, valeu, valeu.
Looking to stop it. No, the Glocks just too powerful at that short range. Already, Oswald AW try to answer back with something.
Caralho, muito bom, velho.
Their new Berettas. AW good damage through the smoke.
Na verdade, deixa eu ver se deu certo mesmo, velho.
This was a window
Eu vou
for
fazer um teste
as they push in.
aqui
Clock continues to tick. The kills
pra
AWS
tudo
get the ball
aqui.
immediately, and he said it'll be that
Comenta. E
decision.
aí, Jota? Mano, é que eu tô trabalhando, filho. Eu tô ocupado trabalhando. Não comento o jogo não, velho. Mas o jogo tá bom, velho.
He just hasn't been put in those positions right now, and he hasn't been feeling comfortable. This hasn't been looking like the AW we saw in day
Se eu
1.
mostrar minha tela aqui, ó. Olha aqui minha tela aqui, ó. Minha tela aí, ó. Aí, ó. Tô cheio de coisa aberta aqui, velho.
Giving this map up very
Tá
little
ligado?
at all. Map 3, it's starting
E aí, Stunado?
right there in front of us, and we don't
Tudo
have
certo?
many more
O
to
jogo tá bom. Vamos aprender a jogar CS, Stunado.
here. And
O cara comprou uma 12, velho. Vou fazer isso aí no meu plug, mano.
Close range could be effective. It's one.
Tá querendo que nada, tô trabalhando, pô.
Molotov clears it out.
Tô, mano,
Big rock to work.
fazendo o que dá pra fazer aqui, né? E, se possível, o mínimo.
To aggress. They want to see what's going on towards A. A smoke will find them elsewhere. Good pressure early.
Então, não tô compartilhando tela, né? Mas a gente tá usando
Moved
Teams.
over towards the A mid area.
Teams da massa.
With a creep up towards B once more. All the pressure
E aquele jogo cachorro contra a Odd, quem é? Ah, mano. A gente entregou, né, velho? Caralho, esse jogo aí a gente entregou muito, velho. Hoje tem jogo, né? Hoje 7 horas a gente tem jogo.
puts him out of sight, out of
Dá pra
mind.
ser que eu nem sei os horários dos jogos, hein?
But this goes into a 3-on-3, and this
Mas dá pra ganhar dos próximos times, viu?
for the side of Magic. The shotgun gets
Nos
empty.
próximos a gente traz vitória.
Demon forced to fall
Se Deus
back.
quiser.
The Nova close range, but it's still doing work.
Eita porra, hoje tem jogo às 8.
A clutch attempt of his own. Flashed off. Oh, getting stuck. He's not even gonna try to fight it. He's forced to fall back, but not before Spade 8 closes it out with the MP9.
the Nova.
Who said a shotgun isn't viable?
É, que a gente ganhou de WO, tá ligado? O time da...
That scenario is a very known scenario.
Hoje é contra a Odd de novo, MD3. Deixa eu mandar no grupo aqui. Acabei de receber essa notícia no WhatsApp também, velho. Mano, tipo assim, viado. Os caras, eles o Rafa tava falando que ele sempre manda no WhatsApp. Tá ligado? Tipo, ele sempre manda no WhatsApp. Aí pra gente que é uma equipe random, os caras eles avisam em cima da hora, tá ligado? Se não tivesse aberto a GC agora, eu nem saberia que teria de jogo hoje, tá ligado? Porque eles não falaram no WhatsApp, velho. Eu vou cobrar o de mim, velho. E olha que ele ainda falou assim: ah, vocês estão trazendo a visibilidade legal pro torneio, no próximo campeonato vocês vão ser invitados. Tá de sacanagem, velho. A gente é bom mesmo. 13-0, cê é louco. MD3 contra a Odic depois do jogo da Série B, 20 horas. Caralho, agora que eu vi que eles perderam o round, velho. Ah, no pior, viado. Sabe o que é pior? A gente nem tá buscando nada, tá ligado? Mas eu entrei na conta da Street Dog CS lá que tem, né? Mano, a gente... Depois do camp, recebeu proposta de org, velho. Tá de sacanagem, velho. Quando eu jogava aí, treinava todo dia, que eu queria uma org só pra pagar ali o básico, né? Não recebia nada. Aí agora que é só pela resenha, recebe proposta das coisas. Tá de sacanagem, velho. Bizarro, velho. CS é inacreditável, Jota. Ah, na transição no YouTube tá boa? Eu não consigo ver, eu só tô vendo da Twitch. Deixa eu cobrar o Luffy aqui. Dá sub para esse cara, não, Luffy. O cara nem live faz. Troll demais. Se tivesse pinando, já iria fechar. Zos. Já agarrou a oportunidade, tá boa? Tá boa? A qualidade tá boa? Ó, cê é louco, ó o domínio. Peguei esse domínio aí pra Street Dogs, tá? Na época que eu treinava fazer isso daí. O volume do jogo tá baixo, dá pra aumentar, calma aí. Então, é que se eu aumentar fica a narração, tá ligado? Aí fica os gringos falando.
A bit of luck, a bit of skill, whatever it is, he still gets the kill. And a Molotov towards the staircase. Once again, halts Magic in their footsteps. Drop down towards B. B's completely wide open.
Ah, o Flash já givou a GC com Nopa, mano. Aí é foda. Guarda Magic.
Dukes having just a great performance right now, Donnie. From in the very Shadow-esque performance from map 1 to here, 18-8. And finally, we're seeing the team all click and kind of combine together for some success around here. It seems like it's taken quite a while to get here.
We're finally here. Como que o Renato tá falando da bomba lá? Quanto que ele falou que é? 100? Vou comprar. Aqui, mano, aqui, ô Jota, aqui eu vou botar o shape. Eu tô ficando careca mesmo. Mano, você tem que formatar, ô Jota, e fazer a otimização que eu fiz pro PH, viado. Seu PC vai ficar muito bom, velho. E é
Find
simples,
the
velho.
space somewhere else. Get the kill towards the player that's not expecting the pressure early on. The
Fica
player
muito
that's by
bala. O
himself.
meu eu fiz
On
isso
that
aí,
one,
só,
they
tipo assim, só que eu
capitalize
não
off of that.
formatei. Eu só fiz a
A
otimização
very well
e eu tenho que
constructed
trocar
T-side so
pasta
far.
térmica de novo, só que eu tô com preguiça. Eu tô até aqui, ó, com
And
o
it's
negócio
not
de
even
pasta
double
térmica
digits.
aqui, ó.
They found 10. Magic still only on 6. They do buy into this round,
Não vou não, não vou não. Eu falo zoando.
but
Eita,
definitely
foi
not
uma
the vibe we're
pipoca.
looking for. Two Famas's,
Cara da
pistol,
cabeça da pipoca.
MP9. Only one M4.
It's the 5-7 on the frame.
Eu só falo pra encher o saco.
I wouldn't blame you. I'm sure FUT
Ah, não,
previous
é a
to that
otimização
with
dos
that
PC
5-7.
da Excel,
They're pushing the
ô,
meat.
ô Jota. Só que é da
Today's
Excel
game
de
for FUT
2025, né?
uncontested,
Não é desse
but
ano, não.
known by Magic.
Isso nada, você também
CA
tem que fazer, viu,
wants
mano?
to see
PC
if any
fica bala,
pressure
tá?
lies towards
Deixa eu
connector.
mandar depois pra você fazer.
Nothing to come of it though. It's just FUT trying to disrupt the CT side, and they've done that well.
Nice little lurk all the way out. Trying to make some space towards that B main area, but has been smoked off for now. So E-Box next in line, but AW gonna buy at least a couple more seconds before these T-sides decide to jump one towards site. AW finding the first one. Kerbeni getting digged by the drive by the 5-7 actually secures it, but the molly to get the trade close by, but he finds one. It's Fade 8. One more with that Famas. It's a 2-on-2. Demon and Symmetry get this bomb plant down. Will they expect both remaining
Demon,
Magic players
Sentry.
from E-Box? I think Demon spotted out at least one. Now spotting out both. The spray comes in. It's clean. It's good. Moon with a quick trade in Symmetry. 47 HP. This M4 can do all the legwork, and it will. A fantastic and methodical retake from this lesser buy on the CT side.
And Moon doing a great job there to just close out at the end. I mean, Demon, it was really hinged on him, how his position would be able to fight that E-Box push. Going for one ain't bad, but your teammate low HP, it's not a great position when they're getting swung into. Stuck in towards dark. At the end of the day, Magic winning that round off of winning the gunfights. Or FUT, still plenty to work with. You still got a op, Symmetry, still got AKs all around. It's just gonna be if Magic are able to string two together, something they've struggled to do so far in the second half.
Now starting to look a little more decided. They start making their way up towards that A main site. Mosval debating how he wants to play this one out. Nade splits the smoke. He gets flashed, but so does everyone else in between as he comes out. Moon somehow with a good spray. The nade over top does some good damage. And Kerbeni with a kill in towards mid. Now starting to separate these CTs a little bit more than they would have wished.
Very uncomfortable situation for Magic. Down a player. Seems like a decent idea that they're heading towards B, however. As you see the rotation of AW coming in. AW, a quiet game for him. But maybe a chance to prove himself. Tenzi is going to be the first one to take the contact. Waiting, lying. They both find a kill for themselves. AW stands strong as he can.
É roubado, Jota.
A Moon that taking his time rotating
1x1. Caralho, mas esse jogo só tá clutch, velho. Pra Magic, a Magic não pode ganhar esse jogo aqui não, né?
It's just a matter of if Symmetry thinks that main is a possibility. And the timing just doesn't work in his favor. Moon might have spotted him out. He seems to know. Right in the corner. Oh, he knows. He's ready for the fight. He's ready for the swing, but Symmetry! Faster on the shot! And listen to that crowd ring out. 11 rounds for FUT. They look to take it to map 3, and they're approaching that point.
So close.
Map
just
point.
one step away again. He should have had the kill dead rights. He had Molly, he had a flash, but chose to just take it and came out worse for wears as FUT now find themselves in a very, very good position. 11-7. They look to close out their map pick and bring it on over to Mirage.
Como ele perdeu esse round, eu nem vi, velho. Pior que eu vou te dizer que eu nem vi o round, velho. Eu tô olhando pro PC aqui. Tipo, eu só vejo o jogo quando eu tô olhando pra cá, tá ligado? Se eu estiver olhando aqui, eu não tô vendo, não.
I don't know if there's a nicer way to put it besides that. They're going to be forced to call a timeout for themselves. Their final one. Just give the coaches a bit more of a chance to talk. The side of FUT doesn't want to die. This side of FUT has tasted a trophy in the past. And now they bring a player in, xFloud, already making such a strong case for himself at this tournament. Anything's possible. Matchup that can go either way. But where will the beautiful madness lie?
Já almoçou? Não, não comi ainda não. Acabei de tomar café, pô.
We're straight back into round 19.
Acabei de tomar café, velho.
Utility for this Magic squad, as well as not a single defuse kit on the board. The money is down to 0 level.
Algo de errado não está certo aqui, velho.
And again, slow and steady is this FUT squad. Consistently gaining ground, and again, the pace change coming through. We see the aggressive side, we see the fast pace hits, or we see that slow, ruling, grind out style, knowing that, well, Magic probably doesn't have much in the way of utility. You just have to drain what they have, draw it out of them, and then take the hit for what it is.
Slow start this time around. Molotov comes in, the timing. Push Tenzi back. FUT stalled out for a moment. Tenzi tries to aggress. That's not gonna work, and now the pincer's gonna come in from both sides. How long can the CT stay alive for? Spade 8. Not long enough, that's the answer. Oswald and Moon. Why not go for it? Pressure's on.
Not really sure what you can do at this point. Maybe exit with a rifle and xCloud. If
There
you're
you
lucky,
go.
Oswald picking it up here. Now it's a 2
Já tá na hora de almoço, Jota?
Because of that lack of kit. Taps it once, tries to take out a peek. He gets it, but can't get the kill. Knows the ops over to his right. Tries to swing with the 5-7. Can't get it gifted to him, and Moon, last alive, can maybe take away some guns, but survival is now the secondary thought process here. And it seems like this will be a wipe for that CT side. 1 round away for FUT to bring it to a map 3.
One singular round away. And a Magic that doesn't have money to work with.
Tá no trampo.
The power of the lesser pile, though,
Tá no
has proven very
trampo, velho.
powerful in recent rounds. Not enough in the previous.
E o almoço, pô?
And I
Tem
see a
almoço,
Magic
não?
that's reliant on almost entirely SMGs to try to get it across the finish line. FUT 4 up towards A. Oswald peeking around, playing for the contact of Moon. The flash in. A matter of time, a gunfight to ensue. Jugs not able to land it. Molotov at their feet. Damage burning down, and the kills in favor of the T's. Jugs! Such precision with the AK, eventually traded out, but long range, the MP9 won't be able to sustain.
É, eu falei aqui, viu? Eu trouxe essa info aqui. Falei o seguinte, que se a FUT perdesse o primeiro mapa, eles ganhariam o segundo. E é o que tá acontecendo, né?
Surely it's just a death sentence to Mirage. That's FUT answering back. 13-7, and Anthony, plenty
13.
for the Deaths to talk about after that matchup.
Plenty indeed. What an answer back there from FUT.
Eu
What an
trouxe a
answer back
info.
there from Jugs. Strong
Agora a Mirage, acho que da
in
FUT também. A
strong
Mirage da FUT é
assertion
bem
of their own
forte, velho.
dominance here on the Anubis.
Yeah, let's start with the positive, and that's definitely FUT coming into their own map pick, looking like a team.
Que é Magic na Anciente é muito forte também. Tem muito o que falar não. Toda uma análise? Ué, não, pô, que isso. Eu só trouxe a info, pô. Não, a info verdadeira, tá? Quem quiser apostar, posta na FUT aí. Mas depois se perder não é culpa minha, viu?
13-7 for FUT, so it did feel like it was not really close.
No, 100%. FUT was just in control. I think the overall the whole game they started being
Tipo assim,
city side. And that was much more fitted to the map, and you can see they were in control, especially symmetry as well. With the getting
que não é certeza, né?
he was everywhere.
Nada nessa vida é certeza.
But overall, yeah, much more in control, much more comfortable.
Caraca, velho.
And I think that's what we wanted to see from FUT. When they're in control individually, the players know the angles they want to do, the multi-kills they can do, that's where they start shining, and that's when they're going to start outplaying the opponents. And yeah, despite some Nova magic, sadly, nothing could come close.
Maybe we need to see more Novas in the next map if they're going to have a chance. No, but it is really nice to harp on the symmetry point, right? Again, a guy that we've occasionally been asking for a little bit more from. Haven't always had it. This map in general looking very nice for the young guy.
Yeah, I mean, he played well, FUT played well. They did what they needed to do in order to stay in control of the game. Again, somewhat aggressive on their CT side, but a lot of the rounds they didn't have to. Magic, again, coming out without a spawn calls, where FUT basically just had to deal with whatever was being presented in front of them. They didn't have to
Opa, posso falar comigo mesmo? Não, pô.
You know, what they didn't have on Ancient was the individuals getting multi-kills, the individuals, I guess, stepping up in those scenarios and making sure that it would be a 4v3 and a 3v2 and a 2v1.
Ô, fala pra você que o nosso jogo hoje tem aposta, viu? Aposta na gente aí, velho. A gente vai ganhar. Brincadeira. Vocês têm aposta não.
It was a very uninspiring CT side as well, and I saw way too many rounds where individual decisions.
Mas acho que hoje a gente tem grande chance de ganhar, tá ligado? Na MD1, pô. A gente entregou, né? A gente entregou muito. Dá vontade de bater nos cabas depois que eu assisti ali alguns áudios. Mas na MD3 agora eu já vou falar pra você o que vai ser possível aqui, tá? Eles não jogam cash, eles não jogam nuke e eles estão querendo banir Dust. Só que eu não vou banir nuke, né? Eu vou banir cash porque eles jogam cash e eu sei que eles não jogam nuke. Se eles banir nuke, eu vou picar Dust 2. Tá ligado? E aí provavelmente o pique deles vai ser Anciente. E aí eu vou tirar Anubis. Eu acho que eles não vão querer jogar o Inferno, e saída vai ser Mirage. Pode colocar que a Dust 2 a gente vai ganhar. E Dust 2 a gente ganhou. Eles não ganham Dust 2 da Street Dogs. Aí Anciente é um mundo sem lei, né? É briga, treta. Quem tiver melhor ganha. Eu acho que tipo... A gente tem grande chance, né, de ganhar Anciente também, mas eu acho que vai pro terceiro mapa. Acho que é 3 mapas hoje.
Well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the Mirage a little bit, right? Because Anubis has been pretty shaky for Magic. They've played a bit more of the Mirage. We already saw it once from them this tournament against the Mongols. That one didn't go to plan. What would you like to see from Magic to make you think they have a compelling case here?
Yeah, I think they have to step it up.
Pô, mano, preciso ir no banheiro, velho.
We know FUT to be a formidable force when it comes to Mirage. They've also played the map at a high level and been able to take on, you know, some of the better teams in the world, like the likes of Mouse, you know, and even better teams at the major for that matter. So I think if you're Magic, like, what I'm left with after watching Anubis and after watching Ancient, again, is a team that can play, as you described it as well. They beat the teams around them or beneath them, but they have a tough time breaking through that ceiling where they beat the ones above them. And that's to be expected from a young team, a relatively inexperienced team, but it also does get to show us that there's still a little bit of a way to go. So I have FUT being the heavy favorites when it comes to Mirage. I think, as I said, some of the individual decision-making for Magic when you make those kind of mistakes and when you constantly feel like you are the main character, it's almost like a main character syndrome some of these players are having. You will get punished when you're playing against good teams who know how to approach a map and know how to play together.
Let's say it can also go the other way, because if they start firing and if Magic starts individually being on top of the others, Tenzi, for example, is still having a very good game. He can still very much open everything on Mirage. If you have his FUT that is coming in and just crossing the smokes at the right timing and creating confusion, that's when we can also have Magic that is completely blowing the game open. The thing I'm a bit more scared about is their city side. They look a bit weaker on the city side overall. Magic and FUT seems very much in control of what they want to do on the T side. And so that's where I'm very curious of what Moon is going to be able to do. I want to see Moon overtake the game if they want to have a chance, especially on the city side.
I think there's also one thing that we should draw attention to. He's mostly been getting a pass to this point. AW's been having a really quiet series, and especially considering he was one of those players who went thermonuclear, had 75 kills across the series to put them over top of 9Z. That is an absence that's definitely being felt here for Magic.
Yeah, 100%. You know, as we gave them credit for on Ancient and heading into the game, all 5 players have a habit of showing up, you know, on different maps, you know, but they all contribute more or less, you know, and here we see what happens when they don't contribute, when they have one player who's not showing up, when they have a couple of individual decision making, like the Moon clutch where he has a guy stuck in the corner. Instead of just walking around the big right angle to win the round 100% of the times, he gets impatient and lose the round for no reason whatsoever. You make those kind of mistakes against a team like FUT, you will get punished. The silver lining, though, for Magic is that they played a lot like a pack here on Anubis, and as you described as well, Nathan, you can snowball Mirage a little bit to some degree, right? If you play fast, you go into the executes towards B, towards A early on, maybe you play a bit of mid-control and hit some odd timings, then Mirage can be a tough map to control for a team like FUT, so that is the silver lining for Magic, but they just lost a map 13-7 where they won a pistol, they converted, they won. Tenzi won a 1v2 clutch where he was stuck on the bomb side. They won a retake with a Nova, you know, a 3v3 retake where they also forced the opposition to have an eco the following round, which then FUT ended up winning. So it's like, yeah, 13-7. It could have been 13-2. So I see 2 teams who are coming into the third map vastly different and probably with different confidence as well.
Most underrated weapon in the game, though, right, Nathan?
100%. The Nova is cheap. You get a lot of money. You can shoot from close, from mid-distance. Beautiful weapon, and Moon understood it.
Well, I have one more number to throw out to you, fellas. This one's a little kinder to you, Jacob. 117 to 114. Sorry. Do you want to guess which one of you is which?
1v1 duels between me and Nathan.
Head-to-head kills, yep.
Head-to-head kills.
All right.
He won?
He won. But by 3.
Close.
Considering he's got like 13 maps on you, that's not so bad, I gotta say. I don't know how many of those were done with Novas, but maybe we can dive deeper into the stats. We're gonna dive into the break right now because when we come back, this series ends on Mirage.
It's a little bit frustrating there for Shots because I like the idea. The flash was even good. It's just Hunter, the support network, was ready and raring to go. I wonder if there's a bit of organizational pressure for G2 in this game as well, knowing here that it's not just the Counter-Strike tournament, it's not just the progression through the easier side of the bracket. No point mincing words about that. Is okay, Hunter. It is going to be the eco back. So they have won out the war of attrition, and we should see a 3-1. And unless they can do something with these very light investments, we're talking a flash of smoke at 5-7.
We actually learned something from Puckett there on the desk as well about the Orgs needing 2 top 8s to be eligible for that club championship. So for G2, you get to that quarter, you win this game, you win that, what is it? your first playoff game in a Tier 1 event this year, you not only do that, you also make your org happy. It's good to keep the boss happy.
We'll see how far they can push the issue, right? Obviously, you win Counter-Strike, you get 1,000 points, but there's some other teams that we'll be talking a bit more about that. Your Vitalities, your Falcons, maybe even your Navis.
Counting on their CS squad.
Now this one, another stack on the pistols, and you just have to hope that you've called this one correctly, you've gambled correctly if you're Hooksy, and you just want to do a bit more damage. You took a few rifles with you, a few upgrades with you, excuse me, in the last. Doesn't look like it's going to happen this time round. You can send Nerds in as a bit of a beacon. They're going to flash and pick top middle, but look at the range right now. Very deep. Mattis playing Chicken Pit. A lot of range on this. It'd be classic Mattis for the series if he gets caught off guard by this one.
Yeah. I think the guy is due a little break. A couple of ecos might soften the blow.
And B is open, right? They've been able to send the SMG of Nerds in, clear it out, make sure no one is home, and he's even taken down Stair on rotation. So at this point, Strasser just looking to not give away too many more casualties to Nerds to farm up some cash, but this one is down 3-1. Start to settle into this. Let's take a quick look at what's going on that secondary stream. FUT versus Magic. Looks like they're going to be heading to their third map of Mirage very shortly, so you can whack that one on. As Nerds, he does want to get stuck in with the SMG. He's the man to take the liberties. There's just two more to find. Nico Bash Ace, everybody's favorite, as Hunter's going to steal it.
How rude.
That's all right. I think those ones, it's better. Right? I don't want this. I don't want the ace on the stat line of an eco bash. Right? It's fine. I'll save it for the gun rounds. So Nerds has gotten himself 4 there, gets himself up to 5 kills, and we'll get into Strasser's buy. No Fozy AWP available. Relatively limited of util as well. Lacking HEs, we see players like Apex, right, which is what you're going to hope Hooksy can do with the B defense, landing devastating grenades down Banana. They are extinguished. Like it's half wall immediately. We're going for the extinguisher, the car molly. That would be telling of a fight. They are playing a little bit more forward with their A defense on this bracket setup, but Banana's where the action is on Stair.
Yeah, he's ready for this. The whole G2 squad on the other side of the screen. No one's seen him. Finally, Mattis puts him down, and just Hooksy.
Good luck, mate.
He's been spotted and executed.
Another one there from Hunter. Just clears out the site. 7-1 for the boss man.
It doesn't get more cut and dry than that.
And it'll have to be the save.
This B duo just bowled over.
Ryu's probably pretty happy it's not him.
That's true.
It's all right. I took the hiding over there on Dust too. Someone else for a change. It's a good opportunity right now to talk through the CT setup. So there will be the combination of Hooksy and Stair with your Banana control. Hooksy's going to be setting up Stair to take those fights. And then it's going to be either Fozy or Yabi, right? That's your AWP or your rotating rifler to assist if they want to go for 3-man setups, and then Ryu has to anchor down towards A.
It's going to get some credit as well for Wrinkle and his flash. Ensured they find that frag onto Stair cleanly.
Tough way to find yourself down 4-1. You win the pistol, you lose the force, and now there's a bit of a landslide.
What that sound means.
Yeah, tactical timeout from Neo in the early stages, and it does look silly when you catch from this angle, doesn't it? But Mattis able to catch him before he can pop back up and mow them down. Stair knows he had an opportunity.
It was actually Heavy God's flash. It was Wrinkle on the second for Hooksy. Team play on display. Everything going to plan.
I'm liking this decision we're seeing from Astralis on the buy, and likely ushered in by Neo as well, taking the timeout. Your loss bonus is maxed out. Let's get that Fozy AWP out.
Yeah.
Let's take the eco behind the saves right now. I say eco. They're obviously going to invest a little bit more knowing that 3,400, but it's not the full shove, right? They haven't dropped rifles, they haven't fully invested in util. Everyone's left.
Vorte.
So they will be able to buy properly into the next. Bigger concerns in a round like this, and yet to leave spawn, it could change, but there's no kit. So if a site falls as easily as it just did, it's been a bit of bludgeoning on board.
Hey, just can't bet the boy,
Same
man.
half wall block smoke again.
Boo! É de sempre. Kaiser virou garoto propaganda desse Street Dogs.
Two maps not enough for the battle between FUT and Magic. We've already seen bloodshed on Ancient and Anubis, and only one spot is left to finish it off. Mirage, a map both these teams do like to do battle on, a map that will send one team forward, a map that will see one team get their key crushed and kiss their dreams goodbye. A pleasure of a series so far, a back and forth affair. Numerous big moments from numerous players on each team. But who has the stamina to survive longer? Who is able to win out in the war of attrition? Only time can tell. What fate has in its hands, all to be unlaid before us in the final map between FUT and Magic.
Both these teams equally paced back and forth. Map 1, map 2, it matters not. Rounds being traded, a little more of a dominant showing from FUT on map 2. Obviously their map choice, but the scoreboard tells a story. Both teams have their specific outliers. Demon, 43 and 30, a 91 ADR, a 144 rating. Tenzi, 39 and 30. 102.6 ADR and a 1.5 rating. Both these players making this map 3 a difficult choice.
And could you ask for anything more between two hungry rosters? Everything to prove. Everything is earned. And one more fight in order to earn yourself advancement. Demon, a hell of a series so far. Can that form continue? Jugs became alive on map number 2. Tenzi, of course, the stable rock that pushes Magic into every game, backed up by the likes of Spade 8. The pressure building.
This is going to come down to AW. He's going to be the difference maker. It's whether or not he can actually do something on this map 3. Currently sitting at 16 and 33. An underwhelming performance thus far, and of all the outliers, that is the biggest. That is a name you expect to be at the top. The impact he has had over the course of this whole tournament can't be understated, but now he's fallen eerily silent, Donnie.
And how will the op battle unfold? You have the player Moon, player Symmetry, both are gonna be needed on Mirage. And without further ado, it is time to strike into the tantalizing third map. It is time to get those high fives out, get those fist bumps around, because it's time to battle in Mirage.
And map 3 we go. FUT to the CT side.
3, 1, go!
T side, and things are already
T
starting
side.
to heat up a little bit towards that
All
apartment.
to side.
First smoke goes out. It's going to be off in towards that B site. Or sorry, A site, as a matter of fact. A little bit of a bait and switch even fooled me a little bit.
With Demon jumping with those dual Berettas, Shirley is going to have to find some impact ahead. That's already one good, but a single scalp not enough, as it allows
Trades.
for the T's to push in. Xfloud not cleared out. Clinical with his execution, backed up by his IGL. 2 kills for him. Moon waits for his teammate to rotate in. That's Mosvold. What can these two players do? What can be done? What kills to be found? Blocked out from the B bomb site. The bomb not in their grasp. A minute left to work with, but no room for anything to get done. Oswald still questioning
Eu disse ainda,
if a
hein?
push can come.
Aqui, na minha visão, é
Moon
FUT.
rotates all the way back around. 40 seconds.
Aqui.
É mesmo, juro pra você, Chile é top,
Surprise
garoto.
late connection from Cat
Chile é
in the works. Player within mid could play spoiler. That's symmetry. Dual Berettas for him as well. There's not enough time for this. Move on has to be made. Move has to come in. Masval needs to find something, but instead it's Krabeni. Rip his head off and Symmetry drops down. A piss around for FUT once more. As they look to steamroll. They look to make this go as smoothly as possible for them. Once again, a third map. First map was Ancient. A hard-fought battle, a 13-9 victory for Magic, the one who chose it. Then we switch over to Anubis. Still a close affair in terms of the impact of the players, a little bit less close in terms of the round number 13-7 for that in favor of FUT. And now FUT early with the advantage.
And obviously with no bomb plant coming through for this T side, it will be the full save. Only a single Deagle being kicked around by none other than this push to a third map. Definitely helped propel them to a victory on map 1. But can this Deagle find at least a little something here? You know, you don't want that CT side to get comfortable. You don't need an op, let alone a double op potentially here, to start actually being an option to have. And there we go.
Porra.
Out of it early, and a nice little opening pick for that Deagle.
This is a great reaction. A great pre-fire. Clean as hell. But still, player advantage, that's not what's going to get you over the finish line here. It's going to take a lot more than that. It's going to take catching FUT off guard. 45 seconds left on the clock, still no real attempt. For space much of anywhere. Maybe a chance for another kill to be found. Demon plays close, Tenzi, Glock no match. Fire rate of the MP9 too high. That's gonna lead for collapse into the A-bomb site, but Masval, the connection in from Palace, won't have anything to do with it. Symmetry lines him up.
Masval.
Two
Masval.
rifles fall for the side of FUT. But, round converted for them.
Beleza, que beleza, senhores, que beleza.
AK's out. What version of Magic will we see? Will we see that explosive early aggression from the T's, or will we see Spade 8 just continuing to find these nice digs? We've seen kind of both teams take that fast-paced course to pretty solid success. So at a map like Mirage, I can't imagine Magic are going to choose to slow it down too many rounds.
Too many rounds.
Wyndham in, Magic not going to find any headway at all. Flash in, AW. Takes the space. Spotted out by Xcloud. Still wants to jump around, still wants to give it a try. Smoke in towards connector, defensive smoke. Spade 8 against his aggression. Benny, top of his head spotted out, nade. Lands directly on top of him. Brings him down about 30.
Defaultzinho.
For Magic, but they have to capitalize on it. They gotta find the kills with
Quebraram
it.
bem no default. É, bom round da FUT aqui, vem.
Eventually, kill converted as well. Moon, all by himself. The bomb strapped in the middle of
Acho que eu vou baixar um pouco o webcam aqui, que eu não tô conseguindo ver o mapa, velho.
Tenzi, at least able to find one more. Masval elsewhere also connects. Now this gets interesting. Now it's a 2-on-2. A player with low HP. Benny, the timing, however, still keeps
Aqui, ó. Assim fica melhor.
Tenzi has to act soon. Tenzi has to be ready for Demon on the other side of the smoke. It's about to fade. The timing just doesn't work in his favor.
Caralho, o Rodney ficou perigoso, velho.
Both players known, one found already. AK traded out.
Meu Deus.
Tenzi
Entregaram, velho.
continues to pull his team ahead, continues to be the shoulder that they
FUT
need.
entregou, mano, que esse round tava muito pra eles, velho. Eles jogaram muito bem esse round. A proposta deles no round foi boa, que eles escolheram.
The stakes known.
Tenzi just a pillar for this team right now, holding them up by none other than just pure brute force. This man is just something that can't be countered right now. He can't be shut down. At least, if you're Magic, you sure hope he does it, because he seems to be the key factor right now how we've gotten to this point. If not, I dare say it would have been a 2-0 for FUT.
I don't think he's far off. Such a nice shot at the end there. Just able to close it out. The emotions are just going to continue to run higher and higher. On the line. One of the biggest prize pools to ever grace CS. Spade 8. Controlling the underpass. This time mid not contested for the likes of FUT. Instead given up. Space Magic is allowed to work around. And the buy isn't great for FUT. Got to opt in from us, but besides that, Deagles the rest of the way around.
Moon with a deagle of his own, now making his way up, matching the pace towards
Deixa eu
that
comer,
apartment.
mano.
But still, all 10 alive, a minute on the clock, and it does seem like B will be the hit coming through. Can Magic get,
Ó, mas tá indo.
get that bomb plant down, tie this up 2-2, and break this economy? It's make or break for both sides, and this is that early, pace-setting, devastating round potential.
Stack set up for FUT towards B. Each second kicks closer and closer. Symmetry. The op able to find early impact. Krabeni forced to fall off with his deagle. Although he won't fall. Still needs to try to find impact. Sprays the players dropping down. Symmetry able to rescope, readjust, and take out Mosval. And still 5 alive for the CT side. Time running out for Magic. No point in giving your life up. You've already lost. There's no time. A great hold from FUT. And it lies off the back of Symmetry. That's all you need in some of these rounds. Just an op to carry you forth. And carry you towards
Eu
the
sei
third.
que você gosta de ficar na cadeira, no colo, mas eu vou comer, dá licença.
That's going to hurt that T-side economy. Sure, Spade still has an AK. Sure,
É, dá
Moon still
licença.
has a deagle, but with the money well under 2K for most players, what can you really do with a round like this? What can you really bring together to find success where the rifles have yet to even find a foot in the round? The B site forever closed down, it seems like, at this rate.
That was a good read for FUT, you know, have the stack up towards there, just be ready for the aggression as it comes in. And now a double nade.
Oh,
So much damage, AW. Only on 16, once again. Spy's not good though. AK, Deagle, the rest on Glocks. And the one rifle aforementioned, already taken out of the round. Able to be recovered by Tenzi. What's to come after that? His teammates dying at top mid. Systematically picked apart. At least he forced the players off of CT, but now down 3 players. Make it 4 as Krabeni finishes off the low HP of AW and Tenzi. At this point, honestly, just trying to stay alive. Tough task with so much time left on the clock and full
Tá bom essa
control in
comidinha aqui, hein?
basically every part of the map. What else can you do?
And this is a very comfortable and confident FUT roster, what we're seeing right now. 5 alive currently, but still somehow, some way, Donnie, AW yet to even get a kill in map 3. A very quiet and underperforming map 2, as well as I don't think there was much impact on map 1, even though that was the win for them. It's pretty much a duo carry for that squad.
You have to imagine that this is the part where pressure starts to build. Of course, we've seen the likes of Magic make it to semifinals in international tournaments before, ultimately earning 4th place in their attempts elsewhere. But at the end of the day, still an untested roster, still a roster that mostly made a name for themselves through online Counter-Strike, and have now been able to burst through the bubble, be able to get into the invite window. And you know what? The performance this tournament alone is just going to bolster that. But it doesn't mean they want to stop there. That doesn't mean that the round of 16 is enough for them. You have the likes of FUT. A team expected to make a good run at it. A team expected to be able to compete at a trophy level. Mid-take for Magic. Once again, FUT fall off it. FUT don't mind giving up a little bit of space. They're very comfortable in their setup, and they want to take it elsewhere instead. They want to push towards ramp. Just to clear up the close corner.
A little bit of divide and conquer for the CTs. A little early ramp control could ultimately be a key factor in early alarms going off, but no rotates coming in, keeping it very spread, very calm, cool, and collective. Instead, they're going to walk for a little bit of information towards Palace, get everything they really need out of it, and maybe A starts swinging over to that B site early. 45 seconds left on the clock, and it seems like Magic have made up their mind. A little bit of a diversionary tactic, though, on A. So, we'll walk out towards apartments, symmetry scope.
Mas você me trai, não acerta um tiro, velho.
Tenzi has him pinned to a corner, but somehow comes out with
Acertou.
finds one,
Acertou
Symmetry
dois.
finds a second, and AW needs to find something. The nade comes in, a triple for him.
Caralho, a W.
The spray from Kerbeni gets it down into a 1v1. The man who has yet to have a performance needs to start shining. It's now or never. He's already found more than his fair share in the round. Just a couple more to cross the line. Jumps out on site, forces the bomb plant down, but he's going to give up a lot of space to Kerbeni. Swings out, taps, doesn't tap actually. Holds position, sprays in, and AW finally decides he wants to join the game.
What a round, what a time to wake up. Controlled chaos once more, and this time in favor of Magic. You think that there's no hope? Nothing comes to fruition. A 5v2 swiftly off the back of AW turns into the 2-on-2. And they're just able to close it out at the end. That's a way to get back and swinging in this matchup. That's a way to take the wind out of the sails of FUT, at least momentarily. Nate down. Doesn't do much of anything towards xFloud. Symmetry flashed off, AW. A swing and spray. Does push the CTs off the line.
Nice nade there off towards Fade 8. Down to 53. He's looking to be met with some pretty serious resistance towards jungle, but thankfully enough. Smoked off. That's a little bit of a cushion. Fade 8 may not be spotting out jokes just yet. A little heavier on the A side, leaving just Demon on his lonesome at B site. The sole defender. Jokes might have a little bit of an advantage here. Spots out the hip. Gets the shot off and gets the kill.
It's good. Push continues. Almost a redirection, but trades back and forth. Leaves us the player advantage in the hands of the CTs. Tenzi wants to push out. xFloud tucked into the bench. Always being taken. Tenzi has to clear, but not fast enough. xFloud. Execution. And it's just Moon with his op. Goes towards underpass, but no time. Try for the save. Get another kill onto Kerbeni. That'll be the end of the 7th round. That'll be FUT taking another step forward.
You can always tell when matches seem a little more close, not necessarily the 5-2 score, but when it comes down to the money. We're seeing the CT side, they're taking the rounds, but the deaths are slowly starting to take its financial toll. They're in a comfortable enough position to at least have a buy. The M4s are out, the op is out, but they're always financially dodging, essentially, this reset. Do I think that the op and Tech 9s are really going to do it? There is a potential. We've seen lesser buys prevail, but now with Moon, the sole possible contender here to put up a fight.
In towards underpass. No one wants to fight it. In mid, gunfights. 2 kills in favor of FUT. Symmetry tries to spot out one more, but not in time. You know, I think a big story of this matchup is just the difference in rounds that have been won by FUT and by Magic. You look at the side of FUT, every single time they win a round, you have at least 3 alive 90% of the time. You're winning by time running out. You know, your defense is just holding strong and not allowing Magic space. And then the times that Magic have won, it's been off the back of clutches. It's been off the back of individual moments coming to the occasion. And credit to them, they have risen to the occasion. But how sustainable is that? How sustainable in this matchup?
Can only take you so far. This is a team game at the end of it. Yes, you can have your great performers, like we've seen out of Demon thus far, Kerbeni as of right now, along with Symmetry, but that can only get you so far across the line. You're having to still contest with an equally aggressive, equally successive team. It can't just be down to one man.
Util will begin to fly out. One apiece for both these squads. Oswald pushes closer towards Kerbeni. Might be able to catch him out, but the timing not in his favor. That's going to be another time again.
A lot of saves.
You can't really blame him considering the situation they're in, you know? They're just not able to get the space. FUT is holding far too strong.
They're a lot more comfortable, a lot more confident than we saw on map 1. Map 2 definitely re-inspired them. You know, got some energy into the bloodstream, at least a little bit here, and, you know, a little bit of a closer map to a 13, 7. Now a 6-2, and FUT. Can this still be a 6-6 half? Yes. Do I see what Magic are currently bringing to the table as a potential to put 4 straight on the board? No. They are really getting shut down across all points and all facets, whether it's aim duels, utility, space taking. It all is just feeling like FUT are in the driver's seat right now.
Don't really have much to worry about either. I mean, the other day it's just coming down to hitting the shots when the push comes in. FUT not feeling too tested. Heavier station towards the ramp. Smoke goes out. So Magic focus elsewhere. In towards mid. What's allowing them to have the space most of the
Tá
rounds?
difícil
They're
aqui
not too worried
pra
about
pra
what Magic can
FUT.
do to connect off of it.
Pra FUT
As
não,
it
né?
comes to
Pra
fruition. As
Magic.
the smoke fades, there's gonna be 2 T's in line. Jugs already spots out one. Tenzi close by. I'm not sure if he spotted the gun barrel, but it doesn't matter.
Pô, tudo que a FUT tá fazendo também tá dando certo, velho.
Already 2 kills
Os
in
caras
his
dão
name.
se tapar do cave, os caras batem cave e matam os dois, hein.
Moon can secure this kill on Jokes. Maybe if he's lucky and gets this timing well off enough. But he's going to flash the corner, maybe gifted with another. AW actually does eventually secure that kill. Back to a 3-on-3. AW limping away through mid on 28 HP. They got the information. They got a good play going here for the CTs. See, Symmetry, he's holding a long line off towards CT. He's got a decent, or T, he's got a decent enough angle, but he will give it up in favor of trying to support his team. And he's going to be met face to face here with Moon. Might be able to catch the timing.
Oh, spots a shoulder. Such a nice shot. Fast as all hell. AW, Spade. Now only Spade 8, but on the bright
Pô, acho
side,
que eu vou ali na lojinha
QB sneak to the other bomb site. Bomb gets planted.
buscar refrigerante, hein.
A chance to hold for it. Said stations himself right outside the
Calma aí.
market. We've seen Magics from this spot, but how about Magic? Can a spray come in? That's exactly what happens! A one-on-one now. An op picked up. Kerbeni Comes in from Cat. Spade 8 not able to hit the shot. All he has to do is buy a bit more time. Kerbeni off the bomb. Dances around, close range. Here's the footsteps. Spade 8 let's go! To keep Magic alive! To contribute to a third! Spade 8. A slow start to the game, but now a massive turnaround.
But that's exactly what we discussed earlier. Every successful round Magic has brought to this table, it's come down to clutches. It's come down to one individual having to just step up in that very moment, and that's exactly what we just saw as Fade 8 clutching up in a 1v3 where it didn't feel very doable, but he at least got that bomb down after he snuck his way out of apartments, kind of turned it all around on his head, played from that very well-known position, and Magic's turned into Magic.
Apparently. Just a nice way to end it off, too. I think even if he missed the shot, there wouldn't have been time left on the bomb, but why not put a little pizzazz on it to end it out?
Yeah, and he got to keep the op, which the money, again, isn't that great, and we're seeing that right now.
Well, nonetheless, Magic looked to try to tie up at the half. 6-6 being the best possible for him. And you talk about money on the side of Magic. I mean, money on the side of FUT isn't too good itself. Both teams only on one stack of loss bonus, so a very important round towards the end of this half. At least for advantage. To bring it closer to one side's favor.
Mid, firmly in control now. Kerbeni, though, having a great performance. When your IGL's sitting with a happy 12-4, you gotta suspect everything's at least leaning in the right direction. Magic actually have yet to compound any rounds together. It's been one and done. One and done, one and done. But can they actually do it? Can they close this gap? Maybe make it a pair of rounds down. Kerbeni, of course, he's going to chime in and say no, of course not. Gets the dink in on Malzwall, but can't get the kill. Back to a 4-on-4, and the spray through the smoke, nearly netting a kill, and does eventually get there. But for Demon, he finds the kill. Fade 8 tries to get the trade. Malzwall finds an op. He gets one back.
Tenzi being loud about his position. Not a chance to even fight. Malzwall, 4 HP. 16 seconds. Once again, it's going to be FUT securing around via the clock. And I think that's just a point to prove the strength of the defensive setup that FUT has going on.
Yeah, there's not many times.
Oh, the nade towards the end! Is that after the time, too?
I think so.
It was after the time! Devastation! No op, no money, nothing!
Was literally just going to say that when, I think it was like 6 or 7 rounds straight now that they either A, saved or won. Either way, they always one remaining player. And before I could finish that sentence, devastation in the form of a nade coming through, getting the kill, and the money is back down where it was prior. Again, Magic can't put 2 in a row on the board.
Devastating. At least you have something to work with if you have that op. You know, we've seen it
work
in favor before. Not that it's necessarily a recreatable situation, but you have something to grasp at. You have something to latch your hopes onto. And now, I mean, you're on pistols. You're looking at FUT most likely collecting 8 here. And even in the next round, you'll for sure have a bye, but you have to try to go into the next round with something if you want to be competitive. Starting to look bleak for the side of Magic, but that's never stopped them before. Adversity, something you can get through. That adversity might just be the oppositometry. Scoped up. Hit wants to come out for Magic. Jugs burned out just a little bit. First shot missed. It is backed up by Jugs. Controls the spray with the AK. Destruction. Barely any damage took. FUT fully alive. FUT fully in form. And FUT, a chance to be one round away from double digits on this third map to push towards quarterfinals.
CT side is just looking far too easy for them right now. Again, only spurts from the CT side of success. Very little bit, 3 to be exact, and a number that might just be too hard if this one, and this is a great call, a great play, and a great position here. Krubeni finds one, looks for more, is backed up from a molly. He's gonna be able to force back and reposition.
Got scary there for a second. Matenzi, the one to feel the worst about it. Once again, just disrupt Magic. Take away a key factor in the round and take away one more as Mosvold. No impact to be found from Palace. Instead, it's just his teammates in mid that, yes, have pushed up. Yes, have gathered some location to feel safe in, but it's Fade 8. Able to grab back a little bit more. And there's low HP on Krubeni. For sure, not an impossibility.
No, but they do have some decent information, decent play. This push from Jugs could actually, nope, he's going to fall back in through me. He's going to double back clear, make sure that Krubeni of 1 HP isn't all by himself. Symmetry slowly in here, and Krubeni is going to be cleared. Wasn't sure who was going to hold the angle first, but a good heads-up play, and Magic might be able to close this one out with an 8-4.
Might be able to. Still a hard sell, Jugs. Great timing on that backstab. And 2 players remain for the side of Magic. AW, let's have a timing. Oh, but plays his hand too early, not quite able to land the kill. And now it's only Moon. 1 headshot already collected and 8 out to the Lord's HP. But Demon, you're not expecting another one from the ramp. You're not expecting to get shot in the back. And who knows if they were expecting to be down by so many. 9-3 the half in favor of FUT, who looked to put an exclamation point on the end of this series.
I saw that nade sailing over T, and I knew that was going to be a kill.
You felt something.
I did, and I saw it flash before my eyes. It seems like Magic can only really feel the success run through their veins unless it's a clutch scenario, and thankfully enough for the FUT squad, that flank from Demon came out perfectly timed, even though it felt like everything was starting to go their way, the timing, the spacing. But 6 rounds lead here for FUT as we flip sides, 9-3 half. And if FUT take this pistol, I'm not sure what Magic can really change up at this point.
Well, on the inverse of the same point, if Magic take this pistol, it's still for sure a possibility to drag yourself back in. Well, FUT already have a timing. 2 players out towards Cat. Oh, it's going to be quite the battle on B side. Mosvold damage, but no kill found. Blocks start to surround him as he drops. That's the only player in front of the smoke. Still more coming in from the catwalk. They can't see. It's a blind fight. It's Fade 8. Might have just made noise in the apartments. They know he's there. Position for all these should be known. AW at least able to find one. Immediately trade it back out. And a push continues in. Symmetry makes his name known as well, leaving it all down to Moon. Falls back off a Cat. Not before at least
O streamer vagabundo voltou, rapaziada. Carai. 9-3. Eu falei, velho. Quem não me escutou, Ripple.
And that is a clean, decisive pistol round. A good, solid B hit, and they even walked into the stack. It was a 4-man stack directly on that B site with one kind of floating around towards that Cat side. They were playing retake A, heavy B side. They read it correctly, but the smokes just bought all the spacing possible, followed by some just good, clean Glock kills.
No need to overthink it. Just keep it simple. Go for the B exec. Very similar to what we saw on Anubis. Scout out A Nova out. An SMG and the rest on pistols. Meanwhile, batting against the Galils and AKs of FUT.
Fala, Flé.
I don't see a repeat in the previous map happening.
Olha o Moon de 12. Será que ele vai fazer alguma coisa? Ele não vai fazer nada com essa 12, né? Certeza.
Who knows? This is where FUT is deciding to station themselves. This is where the smokes
Surely not again.
will begin to lie themselves over. Nova close range, that's one, but that's it. Great damage onto the next two. And with a 5-7 close by, it might be possible to stop this push. Tenzi on 2, make it 3. And it's all up to Jugs, but Tenzi closes his out of 4K for a 4th round.
Ele matou um.
I just want to see this man's stat line with specifically a 5-7. I need to know what he's looking like, because every time we see him have this, doesn't matter.
Flé, você abandonou, pá. Foi jogar Super Match.
This man consistently at least gets 2 with a 5-7. It is nothing far short of impressive. Thankfully enough, Moon gets 1 with the Nova, which is kind of what you're expecting in that one-off position, but that's all he needed to get. Tenzi with a 4K. And
Ué, o Nopa fechou a live, velho.
Now 8-11. Hopefully, he's got some form of confidence now that he can start.
Vina tá telando, ele falou que não tava não, velho.
Yeah, to Jugs.
Ele falou que tava jogando na moral, velho.
Clears out underpass. Although Kerbeni is able to push through with the Tech 9. FUT position is completely known. And Magic, as long as
Pô, eu abri minha boca aqui e falar do...
should be in early control of the half, should be able to make a game out of this map.
Como que fala? Pra falar que era free aposta na FUT e a FUT tomou eco.
Good work with the scout.
Meu Deus.
It's all just a cleanup. It is a 5th round. It is a Magic.
Talvez não é free. Não aposte na FUT, rapaziada.
It's gonna force a save on the side of FUT. Push forward to 6. And when the guns come back out, you have a real conversation. Only a 4-round difference.
Good kills. Again, with kind of working with what they got. A 5-round difference, making it look at 4. Just Glocks and a Deagle on Kerbeni, who's still 2 flat KD, 18 and 9. And we're only on the 16th round. Yet to really get it going. A nice mid-stack coming out. Playing contact, maybe they can find one, but it's Moon, MP9. And this is a weapon that you don't want to have to contest with.
Eco seco, né? Que o Moon já tá com a sua MP9zinha pra formar o eco, né? Olha lá, ó. Fazendo Vina.
Game comes out. Try to soften up the opponents a little bit. Doesn't do much of anything. Moon walks straight back up. He's one hit out. SMG.
Meu Deus, matou só um, velho.
It could get a bit awkward. Moon converts another one for his team. Fade 8 line, wait.
Por que tem um cara de 5-7 no rato, velho? Beleza, nunca critiquei.
And Jugs, a Glock on the A-bomb site. No low HP player to try to shoot at. Position known. That's all she wrote.
O cara da fogo locado.
They won the rounds that they need to, but still.
Mas até então faz parte. Quem nunca foi locado, Flash? Quem nunca tava de colete 1 e tomou, mano, na cara?
This is still a very dangerous FUT squad that I don't think should stumble into this round.
Ou isso aí não acontece?
Maybe they'll be a little more concerned.
Acontece, pô. Eu sou colocado sempre, velho.
With the big green thus far, but he really needs to position, capitalize, and Oswald in a great position to find two.
Aí não, velho. Aí não faz isso,
And it is now a 5-on-2 in this Magic squad. They were silent, they were quiet a little bit, but they're not out just yet.
Definitely not. Symmetry able to collect the bomb. fall
Pô,
back
aí se eu sou o
afterwards.
Masval, eu fico feliz acontecendo isso, hein.
But no
Aí
good
eu falo,
place to go after
nossa,
this.
farmei,
Almost missing the shot.
rapaziada.
And a smoke towards the top of connector. Does give you a little room to work with.
Essas
Not
coisas
until
nunca
Spade 8
acontecem
jumps
comigo,
up.
velho.
Connects to the head. Symmetry. Last one. Starts with a headshot. Would need to be a 1v5 in the theoretical world. And just can't separate the fights enough to do so.
Aí,
Again,
Flash, você que
another
joga
step in the right
betapete aí, ó.
direction.
XP pra você, velho. Taca tudo.
Another inch clawed back.
A little more energy in those fist bumps. See them maybe a little more pleased with their performance.
And they should know the money's bad for FUT.
They should, and especially denying bomb plant. They still are going to have to contest with obviously some Tech 9s, armors here. It's not just going to be just Glocks. You know, they probably have, give or take, $3 grand on most of these players. So it is still a dangerous round that maybe you do have to. We haven't seen either team really, you know, 5-man push with something thus far. It's been a very drawn out kind of map.
Two push towards the smoke. On connector. 3 smokes, Spade 8. Spots a bit. Takes one body. Lean up for one. Still two.
Pô, o streamer vai ter que se ausentar, mano.
Many catches a stray and Nexus Demon brought down so low.
Alô?
Doesn't even know he's there. And 2 players left. Bomb. Stuck at the top of ramp. Moon misses the shot. But it's alright. It's still easy cleanup. And definitely a lot of emotion starting to come out of the side of Magic.
Is this where you're concerned if you're FUT?
Definitely got to start sweating a little bit, you know? You do have the bye coming out. You're not going to have an op. Or excuse me, you will have an op. After a bit of shuffling of the economy. You're on max loss bonus, so that on the T side means you could justify a bye, you know, 90% of the time, if not every single percent of the time. It's just a matter of the momentum and, you know, the heat that's starting to get under Magic. They started to find their flame. FUT need to extinguish that. At the end of the day, that's the most important part. FUT need to try to take the mentality of Magic in this current moment out of it. Crush them.
I don't think they can. I mean, even if they get one round, it needs to be multiple. I mean, take a look at that CT side economy. 7.5, 8K, 7K, 7.3, 7.2. There is too much money to slow down now. Granted, there's still plenty of CS left to be played. This could still go OT. It could still go a billion different ways, but it's not going to come down to just a single one just yet. It's going to be a step in the right direction if you're FUT, but it could also be a step for Magic to close this gap and really take this one out from under them.
They decided not to go with the op. Instead, they decided to go fast towards A. Utility damage doing great. Moon repositions with the op, only able to find one. Instead, 2 kills for the T's. This puts FUT in a good position. Try to get that bomb down early on. That's exactly what happens. 2 of the players for Magic on a close rotate. Another one far back, Krabeni. I think Masval spotted him out. But they have to make headway into the site. They have to try to get this retake going. Bomb continues to tick. Push continues to come in. As soon as Masval dies, that should be the sign to fall back. Tenzi not going to be able to keep himself alive. Just Spade 8. All the way back. And that's quite a happy FUT fan club.
Well, again, it's going to take more than that to take Magic out of this. The money still flowing. And even past this bye, we still have most players around 3K. So they're safe for another round. Obviously, you don't want to give up another. That's going to give FUT that match point. 11-8 back down to a 3-round lead here for this T side as things are starting to flip around. Things were looking very dominant for this FUT squad, and then it tapered off drastically. Somehow, some way, Magic found a way into it. An open door, into the round, into the match even. and they still have something left in them, and I don't think it's going to go out quietly.
On the bright side for Magic, I mean, the economy is so good that no matter what happens in round 20, you're going to have a bye within round 21. So whether it's you being victorious and trying to push further, or if it's you losing and having your back against the wall, you will at least have money to work with. It's just a matter of how they try to make FUT falter in this time, and having only Moon stationed towards A with a full hit coming in might not be the right play. Sprayed through the box, 2 kills fall in favor of FUT once more. Tenzi tries you might to battle something back. It's only damage, no kills. AW, Molotov back towards default. Instead, his teammate's stuck in a Molotov of his own. Symmetry takes the player advantage. AW tries to push up. Can't do anything, completely locked out. Oswald creeps towards NCT. Tries to get an angle. But it's just not to be found. And they're choosing to save. Oh, a tough decision to make at this point. Relying on a lot of confidence for the next round to follow, but either way, that's FUT putting themselves on map and series point here on Mirage, map 3. The final chance for Magic to battle back. As FUT stares that quarterfinal straight in the face.
Well, speaking of quarterfinals, G2 beat out Astralis 2-1, closing map 3 out in a pretty strong fashion, 13-7 on Inferno. So they are going to be the first ones to proceed forward, and now we're looking down the barrel of closing this one out, Donnie.
We are. It's the final chance. It's the final opportunity for Magic to prove themselves that they can make a fight into it, but FUT doesn't want that to happen. Krabeni already opens up with a headshot. So much utility in through mid. An absolute inferno. Set ablaze, Fade 8. Timing with Krabeni. No one spots each other quite yet. Krabeni should be seen. That's exactly what happens. Fade 8 gets a shot in the back. 4 on 4. Still with the Oppa Moon in play for the CTs. That's been the most reliant thing this game so far. FUT reposition into mid. And Jug's forced forward with a Molotov. No one's watching for the push out. He gets the shot into CT, is traded back. But it's a 3-on-2 now. It's free range for these T's. Fade 8 will get smoked off. Oswald from the back doesn't shoot, and he's the only one left. His position unknown, but Op train on in. And the timing couldn't be worse. Drops down. A chance to fight still. Full HP. But it's all up to him. Jumping around a conductor. The M4 has to connect both these T's with full HP. The nade fully gives the position up. The pressure mounts. With every second, a double swing and almost a double spray, but instead, it's FUT to close it out. A quarterfinal in line for them, and for Magic, unfortunately, a key to be crushed.
The FUT comes down, and so FUT will survive, will advance another round into the round of 8 here at the Esports World Cup. Magic brought such fire, such prowess to the table here, surprised us, and maybe changed some minds, but ultimately we're not quite enough to hang once we hit the playoffs. They can hold their head high, but it will be the footballists to advance to see another day of the Esports World Cup.
Yeah, you got to give it to FUT, you know, a nice turnaround after a very lackluster first map where nothing really worked out for them, where the individuals didn't show up. They slowly but surely managed to claim their way back into the game. Second map of Anubis, that was very convincing for FUT. 13-7, scoreline maybe even be a bit deceiving. On Mirage as well, I think it was a FUT team in control. At no point did I feel, Nathan, that they weren't in control. At no point did I feel like, okay, Magic, a couple of more rounds going your way, maybe we have a game. It was just a question of time before they close out the game.
Most definitely, and especially you can see, I think, throughout the series, you can see Krabeni that started very slow, very off on the engine, not really playing the game. Anubis, he got better, and then he just destroyed on the third map, and he was just in control. And what we saw on the first map with SFAT being in charge of the game and reading the minds and doing everything on his own, Krabeni did it in this game. And then he was supported by Symmetry, that was having a good game again, getting the entries, getting in the right positions. And that was it. That was it. They were the better team. I think it's as simple as that. The A plan was not working for Magic. They're still working on that depth. That's what they need to work on in order to get to the next level, get further into those brackets. FUT is just showing they have that, and they're at the next level.
It's one of those rare occasion, Mikes, where we get what we expect to some degree, right? FUT being the more established team out of the two, still, you know, to some degree inexperienced, young, you know, with a lot of potential, and players like Krabini, like Symmetry, like Dukes for that matter, who also had moments in this game. Magic, sort of like the little brother in that relationship, you know. They're on the same path, they're on the way, but not quite strong enough to beat the big brother.
And I think footballists as well, maybe having a little bit of an extra lift from the sixth man, shall you say, in the server. The crowd turning up very strong here for this FUT team. I don't know that they've necessarily experienced this before, right? Because we know FUT as an organization has a strong fan base, but I think xCloud's addition to the team might be inspiring a little extra passion from that squad coming through here at the Esports World Cup.
Yeah, that's what it felt like, you know, without a doubt the fan favorite in this matchup, you know, and especially in such a small, intimate environment. I think the players on stage, Nathan, they can feel it, they can hear it. It's not a big arena, it's not a place where you can zone everything out, so probably help them a little bit to stay motivated.
It makes a huge difference. As a player, if you're on a stage and you have people cheering for you, or even against you, no matter what the energy is, right? If you have that going your way, you're going to either use it to give you more energy, or you're going to use it to be more calm, because you don't have to send that energy yourself as a player. You don't have to hype the players up. You have that energy that is there, and you just welcome it no matter what. And that's when it makes the game way easier for you.
And that's been such a conversation for FUT as they were rising up last season, right? It's something they kept coming back to, is like, how much energy do we expend?
Yeah.
Do we do it the same on stage? Do we do it the same in studio? They've been learning all of that. And someone who's been imparting so many of those lessons is their coach, Coolio, who's standing by with Trace Stunna Soranthus.
Yeah, thank you very much, gentlemen. FUT putting on a show out here. Hey, man, talk to me about your team today.
Luckily we won. Yeah, I think we start shaky, like we did on the Major versus Bad Boom. We played with the pressure. We didn't play how we were supposed to play, but I think we had a good talk after the first map, and then we start playing our game, and then we could beat them.
Yeah, because, you know, Ancient really wasn't probably the best showing for FUT. What do you take from the Ancient loss? I know it's just pretty fresh, but at the surface level, did you guys just not start right? What happened here?
No, I think we were just not really following the plan. We were giving them too many space on the map. We were kind of just waiting again, and they were playing good, you know, like they had all the map control. We didn't react, or we were reacting pretty late, and they were just having really good situations, and I think we were losing a 4v1. It gave them momentum, and to be honest, if we would won that round, I think it could be a different game.
You got them cheering for you, man. You're the coach. How have you done this? What do you say to these guys?
Well, it's so good. I think it's first time for us that we have fans, and it's so good. Everyone enjoy it, and thank you guys.
Look, you've got the winner of Gamer Legion and Mouse. As fun as that might sound to everyone, what do you think?
Sorry, I didn't hear.
You've got the winner of Gamer Legion and Mouse next.
I think we never played versus Gamer Legion. We beat Mouse 3 times in a row with different lineups, but I think they are kind of comfortable team for us. We just, I mean, it's always close game because they are obviously playing good and stuff like that, but I think Mouse is kind of comfortable for us. I'm not saying we will win again, but about Gamer Legion, it's gonna be first time if they beat Mouse, so I don't know anything about them right now.
Well, look, I'm gonna get you out of here. Anything you want to say to these people that are standing right here?
Oh, just thank you very much, and keep cheering for us for the rest of the tournament. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations.
A first for Coolio, I think, hearing his name chanted while he gives the post-match interview. Sigh of relief from the coach after that. Ancient happy with the way that his team got into it after that first map.
Yeah, and I think it was important for them. It was important for them naturally to win the game. That goes without saying, but also the fashion they did it in. 13-7, 13-8. Nathan, they left no room, you know, for doubt in regards to who were the better team. So I don't know how you feel about that from a player perspective, or now that you're working with a team, but I feel like there's different ways of winning, right? You can win a game where you're not playing well, where you're never feeling comfortable, where you're almost walking away from the game thinking, oh, we got lucky right here. Or you can win a game like FUT did on the following 2 maps, where you're in control, you're playing well, and you kind of take that confidence and I guess belief in your own abilities into the next one.
Yeah, it's something that we talked about actually after the first map, where it was Ancient and Magic won, but we still felt that FUT was the better team, that with the map pool they were going to be better. If Magic would have won that first map, 13-4, 13-5, something very, very convincing. You have a strong case for them to like upset them properly on Anubis and then going like 13-11, 13-10, just getting those edges everywhere. But you could see there were gaps where, and I'm very glad that we talked about it this way as well, that we're agreeing with Coolio that was on the stage. We see the same thing. They were giving too much space, they were not being aggressive enough, they were not taking those entries, they were not there physically and mentally to like be ready for that fight, and they came on Anubis, they completely flipped that. And at that point, you could see there was a clear difference between both teams, and you can see that FUT was better. So for the players and for them as a whole, they know their weaknesses. Oh, we need to work on our Ancient. How can we hot fix that for the next few days? Because we have a strong matchup coming up. Ancient is most likely going to be there. How do we fix that? How do we not make it such a 0-1 into the best of 3? Because they know they have it on the other maps.
One more thought on Coolio. We were chatting a little bit about it in the green room. There's something about the way he uses his timeouts that you like, Nathan.
Yeah. Very often, I feel like he's trying to be in control of the feelings of the team. We could see, for example, when they had Lonix, he was extremely vocal, always there, and it kept like some sort of confidence in them, regardless of what the score was, regardless of what round was going to happen. Here, you could see that as soon as they were losing some 2v1s, 3v1s, some tilting rounds, we would say, instantly the timeout comes out. So whether it comes from him, from Krabeni, or like an agreement they have, they shake hands whenever we lose a round like that, we just take it. At least they recognize it as a group, and they instantly address it. And you can see very often they won the round right after. They got back into the horse straight up, and there was no question of, oh, we tilted, maybe we're going to give away a few rounds. Now they just right there. They're just going to take the round again, be back in control, and then just go get away with the game.
Something to look out for if you're FUT and if you're a fan of this FUT team, you know, changing longs with xFloud is not only a change of player or a change of personnel on the server, also in terms of the energy, you know, in terms of being maybe a bit more balanced as a squad, you know, because as you spoke about, Mike, a big part of the conversation has been, you know, retaining energy and making sure you have enough energy for a long tournament and maybe not losing grasp of the game or losing focus on the game with all the yelling and screaming. So, I don't know, early days still for FUT, but I feel they are slightly more balanced now, which I think is going to be a good thing if they want to take a step further.
It's an important thing to remind us all of how young this team is, right? The team across from them we're talking about is a young upstart team. They have about a year above them on average age. This team, even with the addition of the old man xFloud at 23 years of age, their average age is still like 20.3, I think. They are so fresh into their careers, and there's so many lessons they're learning along the way.
Still one for the future, you know, still a team that has shown before as well that they can be competitive at the highest level. As Coolio said, they beat Mouse 3 times in a row. Yeah. They played in Tier 1 tournaments where they made the playoff. You know, people may have forgotten a bit about FUT because they didn't really break through at the major, and then the player change comes in with longs instead of xFloud, but it's still a very dangerous team to play.
There was especially one thing where there was a big moment where players were getting offers. They could have gone different teams, just split up, and they were like, nope, let's see how it goes with this roster. Let's see how far we can go, and then just made like 1 or 2 changes, like just the Lonix, the xFloud, and then just made those changes because they really wanted to stick together. And I think it shows really about their character, how they want to do things, how they want to approach it, the fact that they're a real unit. They're just not just mercenaries waiting to go to the next stage or whatever. They want to grow together. They want to all get that experience together, get into those tournament wins, and who knows, maybe if they're going to win their next tournament and they're going to be like, okay, cool, now we can just go ahead and experience something else. But right now it feels like they're really a unit that is trying to go to the next level altogether, and that's very refreshing in our scene to see that.
What does that do for you as a player when you're in a team like that where you have so much faith in the guys next to you, in the guy calling, in Krabeni, in the unit that you've come up with, that you've come up from the academy team into this squad? You've now seen a couple player changes, but all for the same spot, that you all choose to stay together. What does that do for you?
I come from the French scene, so I would not know that. I'm probably a bad person to ask, but anyway, it gives you a perspective on the longer term. Like, you know that you can make mistakes, you know that you're trusted, that you can just try things in a game, whether in practice or in official games, and then you're going to work on it together, and that you're not losing the faith of the people around you. And I think it's very much of the mentality of Coolio. He seems very calm, calculated. He already said in interviews he's controlling like 99% of the game. He makes the game plans, he makes everything. And so that allows you as individuals to just do whatever you want, right? Like, you can feel yourself as a player, bring your personality, and as a player, I think there's no better feeling than that.
Now, we do have another team that we will be talking about, and what better way to transition to this conversation than to head on over to the Key Crush, because Magic's time here at the Esports World Cup has come to a close. They've acquitted themselves beautifully, but now their right to compete here will be crushed alongside their Key as xFloud takes it and crushes it into many tiny little pieces, or two big ones, as this particular one might be. Let's talk about Magic, right? I think that despite this exit here in the round of 16, this is a tournament they should be very satisfied with.
They should be satisfied. I feel like they're taking another step in the right direction, gain some more points for VIS, and that's obviously mega important for a team like Magic if they want to qualify for the major, if they want to get more invites to some of the bigger tournaments, and sort of like skip the grind that is playing all these smaller tier LAN events, you know, or online qualifiers, you name it. So in that regard, I think they've gotten the most out of it they could have expected. Going into the playoff in itself, I think that was a massive step for them, and the main takeaway is beating 9C in a best of 3, you know, not only for the VIS standings, but also in terms of their understanding that if they play well and if they do well and if they stay composed for 3 maps straight, then they can beat some of the better teams out there, which 9C has proven to be with a trophy just a couple of weeks ago.
Yep. For Magic, yeah, I completely agree. I think they're on the right path. They're just getting those wins here and there. They're also very smart into which tournament they attend. And every time they attend a tournament, it's for a specific reason. They actually go and they get, even if it's 10 DRS points, if you just get that, you didn't lose points. If you didn't lose points, you're just going up in the ranking constantly. And so, yeah, they've been very smart in their approach. Their A game plan is very strong. Work on the B and C game plan, and then we're going to have a team that is going to be very competitive.
Making the most of their opportunities, but maybe more depth to acquire. We are going to head into a break because on the other side of that, it's time for our second match of the day. It's time for our reunion between Mouse and Gamer Legion.
Play is in our DNA. Whenever we let it out, it becomes our superpower. Now imagine an entire city being built to supercharge it. Kadir City, powered by Play. our DNA. Whenever we let it out, it becomes our superpower. Now imagine an entire city being built to supercharge it. Kadir City, powered by play.
The human body was built to move. Not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secret Lab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you, gamers, hybrid workers, artists, backing your every move.
Welcome back to the Esports World Cup here, where we are diving into our next game of the playoffs here on the B stream. We got Gamer Legion taking on Mouse, and this is kind of a fascinating storyline. I didn't think we'd get this early on. PR leaves Gamer Legion, heads back to Mouse, the team whose academy system he came up through. They immediately lift a trophy. Meanwhile, the team that he abandoned, Gamer Legion, come out the gates with Flamus, their own player returned, and they look phenomenal here at the Esports World Cup.
Yeah, it's a fun one, you know, for a lot of different reasons. First and foremost, the PR comeback, going up against your ex-teammates in that regard. That's always going to be fun, you know. Maybe adds a bit of pressure on PR as he was the one to leave to join another team, thinking that, hey, joining Mouse is a brighter future for me. And I guess the result speaks for themselves, right? He plays one tournament, lifts one trophy, and all of a sudden you're on the top of the world. However, as you said, Gamer Legion in the group stage, they looked okay. They looked good, you know. They're playing some good Counter-Strike, but I'm still a bit worried, Nathan. They did come into this tournament having lost, was it 4 or 5 games in a row, and were scrambling for leftovers. Then Flamus comes in, and I think he's a great player, but I'm still not certain whether or not I expect a lot from Gamer Legion, or I just expect a little.
Yeah, the thing is, Mouse is just a better team, period. Like they have been for the past 1-2 years, where they just have been better in many regards. And so for PR to come back, especially being very familiar with Cyclone and the whole system they have in place, it kind of makes sense, right? Like it feels like you stepped up, you go into a team that is fully in place, that is making a bit less changes, that have very clear plan moving forward. And maybe he's also the extra 5% that gets Mouse over the edge, like winning those trophies and getting a bit better and getting into those finals consistently, because they've always been very stable, top 5, very, very good team, but never that winning team that everybody's looking at. But yeah, it's a grudge matchup, and that's what makes this one so interesting. Obviously, both teams are going to be willing to go the extra mile to win this matchup, because there is something at stake there.
I think the question that I still have with Gamer Legion is just what did go wrong at the end of that season, at the end in the major, right? Because this was a team that came off back-to-back really good runs in Fort Worth and then in Atlanta as well, made the final in Atlanta, were punching way above their weight for what we expected of them, and then came into the major, and even in the games they were winning, looked really flat compared to our expectations.
Well, it begs the question whether or not PR knew that he was going to leave for Mouse, or whether or not the team themselves knew as well, because you've probably been there before, Nathan, especially coming from French Counter-Strike. There's always been a lot of roster rumors, you know, and backstabbing going on, even in Danish Counter-Strike back in the days, and that's something that can kill the vibe within a team. If you know a guy is leaving, especially if it's one of your star players heading into a major, that's going to take a dent in the motivation.
Yeah, and especially if you know it and it's behind the back and it's rumors and you don't know, you're not going to give yourself 120% into every game, because you're second guessing the one player that is next to you, with the guy that is supposed to be your brother in arm, right? Like on the server, where you don't doubt whatever he's saying, whatever he's doing. And yeah, that could have played a part. I think overall Gamer Legion is just very unstable. The way that they play, the way they approach the game, and the way they have those things. We have Snacks that is kind of the king of fuckeries in a game, right?
Yeah.
Like he's always there, he's always finding the small things, he's always been that way. He's the guy in the smokes, you know, with that knife out. He's a bit better now, a bit more wisdom in him, probably. But he's always been that guy. So that can work very well for you, but if you have a team that is prepared, it's going to go very wrong against you.
It would be interesting indeed to see. I mean, I think there were those rumors floating around about Gamer Legion's organization, maybe instability there. Lots of contributing factors, but it does seem like Flammus back in has been the spark plug for them to put that behind them, right? We saw some really encouraging games early on, and Flammus in particular has been looking very nice in this team, especially now that he's been freed of whatever was going on with that VP buyout. He is back, he's free, he's in control of his own destiny, and he's in a Gamer Legion jersey once more.
One thing is what he brings on the server. I don't think anyone can question that Flammus is a great talent. We even saw him standing in for BB team during the major as well, doing God's work. But even more important, I think, Nathan, is what he brings outside of the server. He's a mood booster. He's a very big personality. He's a fun guy. Whenever you interview him, he speaks openly, he speaks candid, and I think he has the same approach to the teammates. And if I gotta say it, I feel like one of Gamer Legion's issues have always been the lack of personalities within their lineup. You know, it's a very calm, very composed team. Rez is not a guy, you know, that is necessarily screaming and yelling, etc., etc. Snacks is very calm and very composed. Torsen the same. I feel like Flammus is bringing a bit of fire, a bit of, you know, maybe a bit of a personality they haven't had in the camp before, and that could help them balance out a little bit more, you know, just like we saw with FUT. Maybe they needed to take it a step down for Gamer Legion. I think they needed to take it a step up, and I think Flammus fits that role perfectly well.
The way that I see it is that in roster, you very much need at least one engine in a team that brings that energy consistently, whether it is just like screaming, talking, being loud, or like putting the players together, or being on a server very aggressive and doing, you know, opening the map and then taking on that mental. Flammus is that guy. Big respect to him. I really like seeing him play when he has the freedom to do whatever he wants. And in that roster, with Snacks calling, I'm sure that Flammus can say, I'm going to push mid. Trust me, guys.
He got the keys to the castle. You know?
Exactly, yeah. When he was coming up and he was in the rosters that he was coming up with, he was doing whatever he wanted. You could see he was pushing mid on Mirage 3 times in a row, and he was always like backstabbing them on A, like those kind of signature plays that he had. And then he was going into other rosters where he was not allowed to do that, and then he became a completely different player. And now, I'm so thankful to see that player again, because I think Flammus has something exceptional into him. I think he's a special player. I think not a lot of them, none of the persons can do what he's doing, and he's doing with so much confidence and so much intelligence behind it as well, that he's not just random. He makes it work time and time again, and that's because there is a real FUT behind it.
Now, if we flip to having the conversation about Mouse, right? Mouse start this season off with the win at the Bounty. Very encouraging for this squad, but we've seen it before. Team lifts a trophy at the beginning of the season. Maybe that doesn't always indicate everything's on the positive. Just ask Zwei. What are we thinking about this, Mouse? What's our judgment call early?
Well, the jury is still out. I think, you know, you cannot take away the fact they won a trophy, but I think what's happened ever since is also giving perspective to that trophy. As I remember, Mouse were also playing a couple of games during that Blast Bounty tournament. They could have lost, you know, being down 0-1 in maps and not necessarily looking too great up until the final. Then obviously beating Spirit in a best-of-5 grand final the way they did, and you think to yourself, okay, they're here to play, right? Mouse is back to their best. But then what we've seen from Spirit ever since is also giving you the context of, oh, maybe Spirit aren't that great. And I know that's, you know, a lot of follow-through logic, and it doesn't always work like that, which is why we need to see Mouse confirm that what we saw at the Blast Bounty is the new level of Mouse. And I think it's going to take a bit of a time. I think when you bring in PR, you bring in Celix as well to be part of the main roster, it's a way more inexperienced roster now, with Exertion picking up the in-game leading roles as well. So I think it's going to take a little time before we see Mouse at their full potential. But if anything, Nathan, they've shown that when they all click together, when they play well, especially with PR coming in, it's a dangerous squad that can win trophies.
And that's where you can see their game plan as an organization, as a team, and the persons that are behind it. They always try to bring, to my expense as well sometimes, they always try to bring that extra 5%, 10% of like, oh, we make the player change because we think it's going to give us just a little bit more of an edge. And they have been always very, very calculated every single time that we're doing that. And you can see they're just building their roster. They were always very stable, and they got better and better and better and better. Can they lift 10 trophies in a row? I don't know. They have a very good team. They have very good talents. Can they sustain that forever and ever? I'm not sure. But they have the youth. They have the control. They have the game plan. They have everything in place, it seems like. And can they get those 5% to win several titles in a row? That's the thing that is a bit more of a question mark, despite getting the PR and ZX in.
And just to hone it in, Mike, this is a must-win game for Mouse. You know, it's not sugarcoated, right? Mouse is supposed to be a team right now that wants to stabilize and break through to be a top 5 team again. They want to be in the same conversation as Na'Vi, as Falcons, perhaps, as Spirit. If you want to even get close to be part of that group of teams right now, you got to beat a team like Gamer Legion. Regardless of how well Gamer Legion are playing, regardless of them turning upwards, there's no beating around the bush right here. This is a must-win game for Mouse. Whether that's going to be in a beautiful way, whether it's going to be a scrappy game, doesn't matter. It's a must-win one.
I'll go even further. They need to be in the final.
Yeah.
If they want to
With the
cement
upper bracket,
themselves as
yeah.
one
Wow,
of the teams,
okay.
like they need to be in the final if they want to be one of that team. They can lose in the final. That would still mean they're a top 5 team and they're not here to be laughed at, or they're not here to be just that stable team. They're going to be there to fight for trophies every single time. That's my expectations for them. That's what I want to see from them in that bracket. They have the road paved for them. Now they have to apply it. They have to just beat those teams, as I said, consistently. They're not allowed to lose against those Gamer Legions because that would be a step back from the step up they got in the last tournament win.
Enormously lofty expectations, but it is what they're trying to build towards, right? And we saw the formula in that bounty win, right? Torji with a really strong tournament throughout, Spinks with MVP form in that final, meant that the new guys, Zelix, who we were just looking at, and PR, didn't actually have to take over the server in order for Mouse to have success.
And that was the anomaly, you know. Spinks playing well, we've seen that before. That's going to happen again. Spinks is a great talent. Torsi all of a sudden finding that level with the AWP. It's been a long, long time since we've seen him play at that level. So that's one of the things I expect to maybe fade out a little bit or stabilize. And that's where you want to see Zelix and in particular PR coming. People kind of forget that PR at times in Gamer Legion, he would have like 1 or 2 tournaments where he was playing you wouldn't put the label superstar on him, but you'd be like, if you continue that, then maybe in the future you could be a superstar. He's kind of faded out as well, but if you can get more out of PR and you can have a Torsi who's just slightly better than he's been before, then I think in terms of individual skill and I guess also capabilities as a group of individuals, they're good enough to be in the same conversation as a team like Na'Vi.
And the man who's tasked with taking them that extra percent for getting the most out of those players is Zershin, newly in the leadership role, so let's hear from him.
Mouse goes against a Gamer Legion today, and I, for one, am excited to see how this goes. First round of the playoffs. How are you feeling coming into this one, Exertion?
Feeling good, feeling super confident with our matchup against them. And yeah, if we execute the plan that we set out to do, then I'm confident that we'll take out the W.
What did the group stage of the Esports World Cup expose about Mouse? What do you think, in your own words, it brought to light about the Mouse side?
Well, we talked about the team. It definitely exposed a little bit that sometimes we're a bit disconnected, that we still are not a full team in a way that we're still just a group of people at some time. So for us, it's really important to work on our connection in the server and making sure that we have one idea and we stick to it.
Your trading score is much lower than your opening impact. Is that simply the cost of the positions you take, or is it something in an area you want to improve in?
I guess, yeah.
It's nothing personal. It's just, I just wanted to know.
Yeah.
Outstanding. So, Gamer Legion, across the way, you've got some familiar faces. Just how familiar?
Not too familiar for me, but very familiar for PR. I know he's hungry to show a good face today, and yeah, I'm gonna be there for him, back him up when he needs it, and also help him get over the line.
Tell me about, for him, familiarity, because you've had to play against him in the past, and now things are a little different.
Yeah, of course, it's nice to get to play with him. I think he's a very bright young man. There's, of course, some things to work on, just like every player in the world, but yeah, I'm just really enjoying his company, and all the guys are the same, so yeah, we are really happy we picked him up.
Will there be Nuke in the veto today? Are you guys getting Nuke out of this?
Could be. Let's see.
Anything you want to say?
No.
Fair enough. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Nothing he wants to say, but he did say a lot, so thank you for that, Zershin. We've got our head-to-head going on here. Flamis and PR, the man who would replace him and the man who left.
Two fun players to watch, Nathan. You said it yourself, you think highly of Flemish, so do I. I think when he has the freedom to do whatever he wants, he can definitely be a difference maker on the server. And as said before, PR at times have shown that he has the potential to be maybe a superstar in the making. And I guess when you're in Mouse, that's a pretty good place to show it.
Yeah, I think PR could really be the key for them to get over that edge and get over the trophies, because he has the multi-kill potential, especially when he was in the academy and he started being there. He was really showing up. People were even thinking he was cheating because he was like tapping all the time and he was pressing on his keys in a very specific ways that people were like, oh, this guy is cheating. There's no way he's getting those multi-kills in those plays. No, the guy is here to stay. He's a very, very good player. The plays he makes are also very intelligent in the way he approaches it. He's not like just brute forcing into his positions and then just like straight raw aim multi-kills. No, he knows how to take the right angles, how to peek properly. The real CS2. I'm French. Sorry, I'm just fully back into
Le
French.
Counter-Strike.
But CS2, yeah, 40 into it, like playing it the proper way, how the DNA of the game is being played. And so yeah, as you said, very exciting players, both of them for different reasons.
Well, you'd know something about exciting uppers, so we've got one of them to look at. If you like a little bit of Hypex, you could see him over Nathan's shoulder there. We've got a little sneak peek at his setup, courtesy of Lenovo Legion. So we're taking a little look at what Hypex does to get ready for the game.
This ain't no regular thing. I came for the ring, you know what I mean. You see my name in the lights, better What's up, everybody? We're here at the Lenovo PC setup. I'm with Hypex of Gamer Legion. Hypex, you having a good time at Esports World Cup?
Yeah, it's been pretty good so far.
Yeah?
I'm happy to be here.
Nice. And well, today we're going to put up or shut up when it comes to your setup. So where would we start when we start putting together you sitting down playing on LAN?
Okay, so first thing I do is plug in my gear. Obviously, it's all plugged in now. So I would sit down. I would put my chair all the way to the top. Then I would sit close to the desk. I would usually have these off because they kind of block how much I can go in.
Yeah.
And then I usually put the desk down all the way to my belly button. Then I'll have my keyboard around like this. And then I'll bring the monitor around the same. So like this can nicely go in.
Okay,
like
yeah, slots right in.
Kind of makes sense. And then I just twist the monitor with it. So it'll be something like around like this. And then usually I'll put it back as much as possible.
But this Lenovo monitor, it slots in pretty well, I think. It looks like it makes sense.
It looks, to be honest, it looks perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And then the height, with some monitors I know, with some I just have to, you know, just think what's good. And then this seems pretty good to me.
Pretty accurate right here.
I'll probably leave it around this. My mouse pad goes all the way to the edge. So this is actually...
So you don't like to have any sort of hang off there on the right side?
No, not for now. Maybe one day, but for now I just keep it like this. I mean, I kind of, you know, when I push myself in, I have some arm room, but I usually have my elbow just hanging off.
Tell me a little about like your chair and going into it for posturing. How important is this part of it?
Okay, so I know some players play like all the way with the chair back there and they don't really care, but my back would kill. So I bring it all the way to the back, so it's like pushing me into the desk, and I'll fully sit like this.
Do you think this is the start of how you end up with your face in the monitor?
I hope not, to be honest. Sometimes, you know, sometimes I feel like I'm too close, I'll push it back a little bit, but I feel like this is, to be honest, I would play like this right now. Oh, baguette. Baguette on a baguette.
Oh my God, it's baguette.
Here you go, croissant.
Is there anything you would tell the people at home who are trying to set up and get comfortable in the idea of playing on LAN for the first time?
I mean, I think everyone just has to find their kind of sweet spot. I don't think you should copy anyone. Or if you do copy, don't keep changing it and look at different players. Everyone just has their kind of sweet spot, how they play. Just try and get it as close as possible to at home, and then try and copy your settings on LAN. But you got to understand not every LAN you're going to be able to do it, because there's different desks, some chairs difference, and I mean, you just got to get used to it, I guess.
I want to thank you for watching us. Watch Hypex set up this Lenovo PC.
Thank you.
We were there. For every click, every clutch, every respawn. We were there for the years of grind. And we're here. Now. The proud founding partner of EWC. Powering the biggest event in gaming. Shoulder to shoulder with the world's best. Making history. Greatness deserves a stage. Lenovo Legion. Reach your impossible.
And so if you want to play like Hypex, you better grab yourself some Lenovo Legion gaming gear as well. We're going to dive into the veto here, gentlemen, because it's almost time to get into the match. Anything we're looking for out of these maps?
Not really in particular. I think it's going to be one of those go-to vetoes where there's not going to be too big of a surprise. I don't think the changing of one player in Gamer Legion is going to change how they approach the different maps. The permaban as well going out of the way. We're going to speed run it Mirage, Ancient, and then as a decider we have Nuke, as I can see over on your screen. So no, to me, top of my head, no big surprise right here.
No, Mouse are just going for comfort picks, which is, I think, expected. They feel like they're the better team. I'm a bit surprised that there's no cash in the pool. That Gamer Legion could have been, you know, as an underdog, they could have come in. Snacks loves the map, always loved it back in the days, and, you know, he would have maybe that edge, especially being a bit unknown on the map and what you can bring to the table against a Mouse that, you know, is shown a bit, maybe more in practice, and, you know, you never know. Like, it gives more of an even field for both teams, so I'm a bit surprised about that. They feel very confident on their Ancient. Mouse has always been also confident on their Ancient. They were always there individually as well, so yeah, pretty curious.
That's the thing. They're picking into maps they both like to play. Ancient and Mirage, it could have been the other way around, and it wouldn't have been too big of a surprise, you know. So it's a shared map pool to some degree.
Well, the ground is set, and you've heard from our analysts as well. So if you think you've got a pretty good idea of how this one might go, well, you should hop into our EWC pick'ems. You'll see a nice QR code pop up on the screen here in a moment. You can do the pick'ems, you can do your fantasy. You can predict which way this match is going to go. So that segues us nicely into this. Which way do you think this match is going to go, gentlemen?
I think Mouse are going to win this game. I'm just not sure whether I believe it's going to be a clean 2-0 version or it's going to be a close game. I think Gamer Legion played well enough to apply some pressure, but I'm going to say Mouse and probably 2-0.
I'm expecting a clean 2-0 from Mouse, to be honest. I think they probably took that step, and by I mean Mouse, probably took that step above. I expect them just to beat them properly and to show that they're here to stay.
Well, this is our expectation, but as you said earlier, Snacks is nothing if not full of surprises. It's time to get into the game. Mouse versus Gamer Legion. Let's go.
Yes, that's right. Mouse versus Gamer Legion. The playoffs finally underway here at the Esports World Cup. And there's a lot of storylines in this one, Jason. Former friends, former teammates now having a clash for elimination here at the Esports World Cup.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Big challenge, and obviously we have Mouse now who's coming off this trophy that they've won, that they've lifted back at Blast. They got to be feeling really good. So sure, you got some people you're going up against that have previously been on the team, but you're feeling real good if you're Mouse right now.
Absolutely. Should be confidence for Mouse. We'll see if that translates into a performance inside of the server as we get into Mirage. Want to get quite a heavy B lean straight away here from Mouse is the call, but it looks like Gamer Legion want to try and pick up that information as soon as possible, getting a couple players down in towards the ramp.
Little bit of utility being chucked out towards the A bomb site, taking some attention away. Mouse closing in. A play up con, and look at the wraparound. Oh, Snacks wasn't ready, but still gets one. Traded off by Zelix, and now positioning towards the B-bomb site.
Halson just waiting in the smoke. It faded now, so into the open it goes and phased out by PR. That's going to be Towson gone. It's weird seeing them on the other side of things, but PR taking down Towson with ease. Minute 5 seconds left as that bomb starts to get planted. Zelix inside of jungle. Flamas going to be gone. And now we're looking just down to 2 players. Hypex and Rez, no real chances at seeing their way into the rounds here at all.
It's a really well-constructed pistol round from Mouse. I like that a lot. You get Zelix into this aggressive lurk position after trading the kill, the death of Exertion and gaining that space. You've got a lot of pressure being applied to both bomb sites. Gamer Legion, I don't think ever really knew where that attack was going to finish. Mouse players lying in wait to punish the rotation, and this is a nice, easy one to close out. So 1-0 for Mouse. They're going to get started here in Mirage.
Yeah, PR is a player that we were expecting to go on to a bigger squad at some point in his career, and maybe took a while, longer than many expected, and maybe the likes of FaZe could have picked him up on their rebuild period. That wouldn't have been a move that I think anybody would have shaken a stick at, but going to Mouse seems like a decent fit for PR in this next progression.
We'll see if he's going to be the solution, right, to elevate them. That's the entire mission that Mouse has been on since the last major, is finally like, okay, we gotta retool this a little bit and see if we can find a new way to kind of push us over the ceiling we've currently hit, to lift more trophies, to challenge for more trophies. And I think PR's addition, obviously, you got to point at it and say they already got one. So, I mean, you know, all roads are looking positive at the moment.
That's a great way to start the season. Although, it does seem to happen with Mouse, where they make a significant roster move or a change to the team, and we'll see a burst of form. We got to see that back in Cluj-Napoca last year as well, when Brolin started in-game leading the team and Shuei went off the Team Liquid. And they won a tournament there, didn't go on to win another. So I'd like to see this be a lot more competitive for Miles across the season.
Yeah, you'd hope it would be. And I'd say, I mean, coming into this event, with how well Exertion has played, you know, within the IGO role, and the pop-off he had when he just took it over, that was so surprising. He's maintaining it pretty well. Second highest rated player for Miles in the group stages of the Esports World Cup. Just behind Torji. Now the hit goes on, and Exertion leads from the front with the MAC-10, takes a death. The 5-7 to the dome, but now more pressure being applied.
Yeah, Spinks just keeps it up. Great second kill as well from Spinks. He's got to love that. Low HP down inside of the side. Celix could be in a bit of a spot of bother there as Hypex's shots start to go through, but none of them going to connect.
This is still a little dangerous for Mouse, though. That's the last smoke they have. When this clears, it looks like they're going to be willing to take the fight. So low HP on Zelix might be the point man. PR and his teammates to swing after the fact, but Mouse is looking for a little bit of safety to get this bomb planted.
Bomb shall be planted. PR the man to put it down. Now Torzi going to be going over towards jungle. It's Hypex is taking that kill. PR gone. Celix, quick response. Towson dead. 2v3 as Miles currently hold that lead, but Gonna start sending Zelix down into connector with that low HP. And Torsi's so sharp on the trigger. As soon as Rez walks near him, it's an instant kill. And Spinks will close out on Hypex. So strong round out of Spinks. He'll get an upgrade. A well-deserved upgrade into the AK-47.
Yeah, great patience from him as well. Not panicking too much when his teammate goes down. Exertion with the MAC-10. Taking time, knowing with the Glil, with that position, he's got plenty of safety, and patience is going to be rewarded. So good kills out from Palace to alleviate some of the pressure. A really nice double kill to help secure the bomb site in a second round for Mouse. For Gamer Legion, they invest. Deagles, P250s, they're going to fight a little bit here in round 3, but guns come out in the next one.
Yeah, a little bit for sure, but you're really looking to likes of Snacks and Flowers and Rose to pull something off here with the Deagles. That's the real talking point in the round for Gamer Legion, but should be an easy 3-0 start for Mouse.
Really interesting event for Gamer Legion with how well they kind of played in the group stage and breezed through their group, the top seed. They came into this event on a 6-match losing streak, able to take down Luminosity and GG How, and due to the upset of GG How earlier on, they got a nice easy path to the top seed coming out of their group.
And obviously GG How pulling off the more difficult feat in taking down Team Spirit to start things off, but you know, Gamer Legion, you just have to play the opponent that's in front of you, and that was their path here to the playoffs. Now you've immediately found your match in a great opponent in Mouse.
That's why it's like a little bit sneaky when I was like looking up stats this morning for the game and everything. Is the Gamer Legion players, excuse me, are so highly rated. There's 3 of them in the top 10 of the event overall. But it's just due to the virtue of that nice, easy kind of path through the group stage.
Very different story for both teams coming into the event.
Yeah, otherwise, Gamer Legion's been on a little bit of a streak of struggles recently. Towson's going to try and find a kill at the end. Torji low HP. There's the double swing, can only get the 1.
Yeah, I think the storyline we started the tournament with for Gamer Legion is still the same story that stands, right? The fact that they had a good run in America towards the end of last season, leading up into the Cologne Major. They played well, and Texans played well in Atlanta, but then their big problem...
Played bad in Cologne.
Yeah, played very badly in Cologne, and really started to see it just drop off in form of the individual players. Obviously, PR goes on to Mouse, so a fresh start here for Gamer Legion. It hasn't been a good start to the second half of this year, but maybe this could be the turning point. If they take down Mouse, that's got to be a massive boost of confidence for Gamer Legion.
It should be, with the way the Mouse is playing at the moment. Utility out towards middle. Here's the take towards the top boxes. Off angle for Hypex's AWB. Been a big piece of this Gamer Legion defense with the AWP. Part of the reason why their Atlanta and Dallas campaign went so strong right before the major. He's going to be negated here with no shot, with no glimpse.
And Media happy to play a 4v5 here in the gun round for Gamer Legion. Snaps being made here for PR. They're going to be charging out of the apartments down into the side. Hypex gonna miss his. Towson will spray away for 2, but his teammates are gone. They know what Towson is, but it doesn't matter because he'll still triple, and he's burning inside of the flames, but he'll throw smoke down, buys time. Rotation there from Flammus, damage done to Torsi, finished off in fact, and so Exertion has to clutch up, and he's actually pulled it off. So Exertion steps up, in-game leader and clutcher all in one here for Mouse.
Oh, they made a footstep a little bit too early, still very deep in B halls, which allows Hypex to turn with the AWP and pair up on that defense. Stronghold from Gamer Legion, but just the trading in rebuttal. The second wave of Mouse players is so effective. A lovely triple kill from Towson, really good stuff, but when all your teammates fall on the rotation, he's still on the island on his own.
Weak weapons now for Gamer Legion. Coming close to a round victory, but not close enough. And Miles can go on a terror at this point in the half, even if already 4-0 up, settling into your map pick like this. It's kind of the nightmare scenario for Gamer Legion coming in as the underdog.
Yeah, I mean, Miles is in a very good position here in this round to kind of grasp complete control. Open it up with 5-0. They're going to go quiet. Winter Room is going to get smoked off. They'll scale down the mid-ramp. Defense is situated towards the A bomb site. 4 defenders here for Gamer Legion.
And Exertion goes towards the bottom of connector. He'll start making his way closer and closer to the waiting steps of Towson, who plays at the bottom of the stairway. Snacks about to try and cross into the open, but it's the Towson pounce that is the real threat here, and they're slowing Exertion down, but he still stays so comfortable in that spot. He works that so well to get his kill, and then the spam down through the triple boxes as well is good enough. Now, Rez is going to wait down inside of the B site. He's on his own. He's got a 5-7, and so far, so good for Miles. It should be relatively easy to remove Rez as well. Finally found him. It's going to be Torsi get the job done. PR even survives on 2 HP. And yep, a 5-0 flawless lead here from Mal's. Exactly what they would have been looking for coming into this game.
Oh yeah, I mean that's a lovely sequence from Exertion, but I think Towson's going to be really frustrated. Thought he had the clean look, sells his position. Exertion wasn't even really considering it. He was looking to be a fake that whole time and see how much information he could gather. You get a kill on top of all that, on top of all that presence. You're just laughing.
I think that's the impressive thing about how Exertion plays, that he never puts himself in harm's way to the point where he's giving him a free fight to Towson on the rifle, so manages to get his teammates in a position as well. And I think Cyclone's going to be the happier of the two coaches going into this timeout.
Certainly, I mean, very pleased with the way they're playing. Been strong and composed. I'll say this, I mean, Gamer Legion haven't done anything to knock them off their game yet. We haven't really seen Mouse tested, but early glimpse so far of the way this T-side is now rolling on Mirage, and it's feeling like Exertion is having no issues getting this team into a really strong position. He's got Spinks delivering for him, 6-1 for Spinks, 7-3 for Exertion leading the way. They got a 5-0 lead here on the opening map of this series.
Yeah, it could get worse for Gamer Legion if they're not able to start winning right now at this point. We've got Hypex getting into connector. Torzy's Ops going to be looking down short. Always fun when you get a player who's played in this squad for so long, and PR going up against them and actually having that edge and that idea of how his teammates like to play. See if he can actually work it into the server today. Going to be up in the apartments. That's his default position. And Snack's going to be smoked at the window as Exertion starts to slip forward to Con.
Ooh, this time picked off. Exertion going to get negated, but here's the scale up short. A little bit of a fake towards the A bomb site. Torzy's Op wants to provide cover so they can scale and turn this corner, but a trap is laid by Gamer Legion, and Hypex gonna respond again.
Torzy's under so much pressure. Oh my god, he gets away with it. Towson getting taken down. Snacks had to trade and does so effectively. Now it's Spinks. Good kill. Flam is completely blinded in the open. And now Spinks has a chance for multiple kills down inside of the site. 44 seconds, Res up next. Headshot landed. And now PR left 1v3. The bomb is all the way at shore, so far away from him.
There's probably no chance for him to actually win this round, but any more weapons he takes away are super valuable. There's no money built up for the Gamer Legion side. So if I'm PR right now, I'm not even thinking about winning the round. And you can tell by this route he's walking, he's not either. He wants kills. He wants to take one more gun away from this defense, force the rebuy, keep the economy low, and set his team to break them in the next round.
Well, Rez is right there under the wood. PR is going to spot him, but not able to get his crosshair in the right spot, and that's Rez outmatching him in the individual duel. So finally, Gamer Legion get a round win.
Off the back of Hypex, and he got some clean looks, right? No flash to activate Exertion on the peak, no smoke in his face, no grenades, no Molotovs to force him off the angles. Just got to sit and wait. 2 different kills. It's a very nice flick up from his perspective, and a clean round victory for Gamer Legion. Right out of the timeout as well, so they got to be very pleased with how that played out.
Here's Snacks, all the way towards top middle, getting a little bit of aggression straight away. Flash gonna meet him and force Snacks to reconsider his options as he starts to peel away from that aggressive top mid play. He's about to get pushed in the underpass. Snacks is as good as dead at this point in this position. There's absolutely no way he gets out of that at that stage of the round. So Exertion walking forward. He'll love the free kill. Torsy then takes away Flammus, and immediately the beating heart of Gamer Legion has been ripped out of their chest.
Yeah, I think the call for Gamer Legion is going to be everyone meet up at the B bomb site and let's just gamble it's going to end here. There's no chance if you stay spread out across the map. Hypex is going to play ticket with the AWP. Towson pushes forward to turn into a warning system. But Mao's not committed quite yet. Bomb's still in mid. They've got a minute to play with.
Towson's been so good on this B site when called upon. Let's see if he can do it again. Just playing here towards the couch on the right side of PR. PR finally starts to brave the step forward, but Towson's so ready. PR dies, but it's about Miles going into the A site.
Yeah.
They populated it.
I was going to say, this is the real move. Like, you know, PR is going to go check towards the B bomb site. Exertion makes his information play at the A bomb site. One of them is going to figure out what's happening and where exactly to finish. So Miles, with a huge man advantage of 5-on-3, find the free bomb site, but Gamer Legion do get to bring 3 weapons, including an AWP, into the next round.
Yeah, at least the save call able to come through, and it not leaving empty-handed, but We're already looking at 6 T rounds on Mirage here for Miles. I think Exertion's going to be very happy with how his team are playing around him at the moment. Obviously playing well himself. 8 kills, 4 deaths. You were highlighting how he hasn't really seen a drop-off. He's taking up the role, and Zelex is actually applying the idea of no mercy towards his opponents. He's caught res, rather, up in the apartments, and that's another weapon gone.
Yeah, not even risking a whole lot himself. I mean, never really peeking past this angle. Just looking to see if anyone's going to give him something free. So 6-1. Gamer Legion do have cash to buy. They can drop 2 weapons over. It's going to be a full buy in the next round for this defense, but running out of opportunities, and Mal's really starting to show superiority. Trying to get him fired up here going into round 8. Hypex Sue with the AWP, and that's the round they have, is the double kill from Hypex. That one feels like miscommunication. Maybe not, I mean, I guess thinking underpass was clear, thinking maybe someone else would be covering it, but that's an easy opening kill provided.
Out mid, they go for the mouse side. Utilities in play, but Hypex has been so good here for Gamer Legion in the round win that they've had. So he's going to go again. Zelex taken down, opening kill here for Gamer Legion. Torsic going to try and hunt it back, and he does connect the shot out to Wood CT, but it's not enough damage to bring him down. And speaking of not enough damage, 1 HP left on Spinks, and he jumps out of there before those grenades come in to finish him off.
Really unfortunate Torji doesn't get that kill, just gets the tag. I love that decision when you see the AWP ring out over on short to say, all right, well, if there's not going to be an AWP holding me, I'm happy to take this challenge. I love that assertive nature of the AWPer.
Look at this from Flammus. Speaking of assertive, he's pushed through the ramp all the way towards T-spawn.
Man advantage with low HP, and he's like, if I die, it's no big deal. Everyone else is still going to be here. Let me go gather the information. And look at the way it's going to allow Rez to cheat over to this B bomb site. Hypex, again, will just nail those shots as long as you crouch into his crosshair.
And claims another off short. 40 seconds left, and it's so easy to tell where Miles is going to finish this round because of all that information.
They might want to save. I feel like they're going to go for this. They might feel like they have the economy is still pretty low from the previous round, so might want to get a couple extra kills, but this is going to be tough.
Very low percentage chance of winning this round. Hypex lessens those numbers even more so now with that kill up towards the apartment. Spinks trying to fight forward. PR dead, and Spinks is on 1 HP as he retreats. Felt like that was always going to be the result of the round, and that ends up being a second for Gamer Legion.
Yeah, really good job from them. Another triple kill round from Hypex, multi-kill round from Hypex. But I mean, that's a couple rounds now we've seen in a row where he's not really being harassed. That's Exertion kind of crouching and taking a dry fight into his back-to-back rounds. I wonder if Mouse will start being a little bit more cautious about that, use a little bit more utility early on in the staging setup. Or maybe if you're Exertion, you just say, you know what, let's hit an attack directly to a bomb site. Take the AWP out of the equation entirely. It's been the middle of the map where that's been a nuisance. And a timeout taken, the first for Mouse. We'll see if Cyclone wants to switch anything up in the conversation. IMD talking to his boys on Gamer Legion as well, as they've got their 2 rounds for the first time on the board. For Mouse, this playoff run, too, is about establishing that success that we saw back at Blast, hoisting that trophy isn't just going to fade away and disappear. That these changes have made Mouse stronger permanently, that they're here to stay and here to challenge.
Mouse should be looking at this side of the bracket.
Yes, they should.
Let's make that final. We have to make this final. You got the weaker side of the bracket. Still some strong teams on this side, but obviously the other side is filled with the Titans of Counter-Strike. So you got to take this opportunity if you're Mouse, and if you are going to be a challenger this season, then prove it now. Currently a very strong lead here against Gamer Legion. It would be a statement to see them crush Gamer Legion today, but it does feel like Gamer Legion are starting to get their feet beneath them here in Mirage in this first half.
Well, we're about to see if this changeup can do anything, because it is a little bit of what I thought. Mao's looking to turn a little bit more directly towards the bomb sites. 3 players waiting on A ramp and Palace. Exertion is going to be the distraction over in middle. We'll see him try and move his way up Con. He's got the support of his teammate in Zelex, who's going to block off the window.
Good timing for Rez, backing away from that smoke fade and not exposing himself to the crosshair of Exertion. He knows he loves to play around the window and the connector. So Rez is looking for Exertion in these positions, but We got Flammers committed on top wood. Hypex has to catch a good time. He's just spotted the player walking out off the ramp. Snacks caught by a perfect flashbang from PR. That allows Exertion to get the first kill, but Flammers 2 off the wood as he drops down below. And Hypex chimes in from CT spawn, and all of a sudden Flammers has a chance for another. It's domination from Flammers. He ignites the hole with a 4K, and that's Gamer Legion up to a 3rd round win.
Well, damn, Flammers, one of the new additions. That's a pop-off round from him, and we saw him trying to hype the boys up a little bit earlier when things were starting to look desperate. That's a great performance to stop a hit when your team loses the opening death.
Beautiful stuff. He's got a lot of distraction of his teammates as well across the site. And then he just handles this last one. Torzy couldn't get the angle up on him with the weapon he had, so Mouse's adaptation has resulted in a round loss, quite convincingly so. And so now they're down to low-tier weapons, P250s, Glocks. It's a full eco coming up here.
Yeah, super proud of your Gamer Legion. 3 of the last 4 rounds in your favor. Defense has finally showed up and put a stop to Mouse, forced them back to pistols. So a very cautious, slow-paced round as Mouse basically used this as a free timeout and just have a little chit-chat where they sit back with the weaker weapons.
Oh yeah, they're going to be really frustrated that they've let this strong lead slip the way they have.
That's Hypex's op that's been punishing you. Now Flammus is rattling off a triple kill. Those are the 2 guys. Towson had his triple earlier in the half as well. But I think really the conversation for Mouse has got to be about that op in the hands of Hypex, because that has been a problem.
And the ball will not be slipping out of Palace, because Flammus has moved up to take Spinks down. So the bomb dropped over there, and that's your only hope for the round really, was to try and get a bomb plant. You don't even get a kill. So ends up being a 4th round victory for Gamer Legion, as it should be in a round like that. And I will get back to the buy for Mouse.
A little bit light on nades on the Mouse side of things for how much mid-control they've been doing and how much they've been using that to springboard either up short or up con. So you won't have nearly as many layers of utility to allow you to scale slowly and safely. You might have to take a few more risks in various places. Nursing this 2-round lead with 2 rounds remaining in this first half.
There's a spray down middle. Snacks opens things up immediately with a kill on Spinks, and look how much damage has been done to the other Mouse players. This is a disastrous start to the round for the T side, and the flashes keep coming, and the Gamer Legion players keep flooding towards them, and the defense has become the attack, as now Exertion and PR are left alone, crushed by this Gamer Legion call. They have read it perfectly, and PR is left on low HP, 22 health, and he goes out to his death as well.
They got to be holding their hands up in the air like, how did we not get that first kill? Very long, extended spray battle from top, mid to window. And I feel like it's the multiple Ts that probably should have come out on top of that, but just a disgusting amount of damage dealt to him by Snacks. How has he not died? Really gets away with one. And then the follow-up push is just brutal from Rez. We're going to tie things up, it's looking like, going into the second half. 5-6, Gamer Legion coming all the way back, 4 in a row on this CT side.
There's again a mid-kill that's gone in favor of Gamer Legion immediately. No, the call for Mouse is trying to accelerate into this B side to try and get into the 1 defender there. But he's also got Rez out short who can help him. So Towson gets the 1, Rez gets the double, and Gamer Legion in control now. So beautiful to see this turnaround from 6-1 up from Mouse to now 6 apiece. Gamer Legion, what a comeback in this first half.
Yeah, insane recovery. That should definitely get them hyped up and excited during the break. They'll switch sides and we'll take a little pause in the action, and Mouse need to collect themselves. 5 straight round losses, 6 of the last 7 in the favor of Gamer Legion. Mouse just disappeared out of the server.
Now, we were really singing the praises of Mouse and Exertion's calling early on, looking, okay, we're getting the ideal start if you're Mouse, but Gamer Legion, yeah, clawing it back, and really it just started with them winning the mid fights, which is coming out on top of mid.
I mean, just lack of kills in the closing rounds of that opening half. Mouse had 5 kills in the last 5 rounds of the half. You know, that's obviously going to make it very, very difficult to win. That's the understatement of the day.
Yeah, but you gotta say it's just the different looks Gamer Legion had for controlling middle, and then having a strong B hold as well is always helpful.
I think that's what's impressive about Gamer Legion is it was off mid that Mouse was getting everything, and then once Hypex's op started putting him down, 1, 2 players just kind of walking into an angle, Mouse couldn't get the engine running again after that. Hypex really changed the nature of that opening half.
Well, now it's Gamer Legion playing with the momentum. We see Torzy trying to take that back. Steps out from the bottom of connector, immediate headshot onto Rez. Yuto will start flying through the sky towards this B-bomb site, but unfortunately for Gamer Legion, they've lost 2 players already, so Mao's in a really strong spot Try and close this pistol round out just from the get-go, and feels like your play never really happened because Spinks slicing away 3 attackers, and we leave Snacks 1v5. You know he's good for a pistol clutch, but not hungry today. So that'll be a 7-6 scoreline for Mouse.
Yeah, good shooting from Spinks. Triple kill from him, some really sharp headshots, and a lovely coordination on the utility when they hear the footsteps. Drop the nades at the choke point, easy kills. Gamer Legion to have a single clean look in that round. So both pistols over to Mouse here on this opening map of the series. Winner moves on to the quarterfinals. Loser is eliminated here in the round of 16.
Go on to play FUT to manage to get the win versus Magic earlier today in a 2-1 fashion. Miles having already played FUT. Good exertion. He just sprays down into the underpass, comes out with 1. Spinks gets 2 towards top middle, and they clean up the Glocks as quickly as they can. So 8-6. Again, it's going to be a decent start to the half here for Miles, but let's see if Gamer Legion can get it going earlier than having to be 6-1 down in the half.
Well, M4's out for this CT side. Plenty of utility, a kit as well in the hands of Zelix. Exertion picking one up as well. So Mouse defense looking very strong. Gamer Legion, all AK-47s. Nade missing, and they're going to go quick. Stream wide, out middle to the mid boxes. Torji's under some pressure, but no danger of his life just yet until he tries to evacuate.
That's Torzi getting knocked away. So advantage already for Gamer Legion coming into this round, but there's the reaction from Mouse. Is trying to send some players into Palace, get some map control back. Flamus is going to be aware of that. Trying to shift his way forward, realizing this has been an area of the map that's been open all round long. But as he starts to move forward, Mouse begin to back off.
Yeah, what's scary about this, if you're a Mouse fan, is if you push that deep into Palace and see nobody home, you start getting the feeling that it's not going to be a finish at the A bomb site, like it's going to be on the other side of the map. And you can tell that's either the read that Mouse have at the moment, or at least the decision they're making on the gamble to just preserve the weapons. Either way, they're in the wrong place at the wrong time. And Gamer Legion will creep that scoreboard ever closer.
Yeah, loving that. And you got Zelix coming back over towards CT. He'll try